Yeah. Bom, pessoal, vou anunciar isto já. Ok, primeiro deixa-me só ver aqui como é que isto vai ficar e tal. Ok. Bom, pessoal, em português primeiro, sejam bem-vindos a mais um Cultiva Podcast. Nós estamos a fazer hoje o premiere, ok, do Billingual. Vai ser em inglês, ok? It's going to be in English. I'll try to do my best because I have today someone that I really appreciate, a brother of mine from the other side of the Atlantic. And I'll try to be at a level with my English, okay, that can build a bridge here on a conversation with my guy. I can call him my guy, Taalib. Okay, so to everybody that is used to follow the podcast and it's used to listen to the podcast and being in Portuguese or Cape Verdean, today I'm gonna do it in English. Okay, we're gonna have with me today a brother. He is a lawyer. Okay, I have my Amilcar Cabral on already. He's a lawyer, he's a filmmaker, he's a black man first. Okay, he's a Pan-Africanist. Some would say that he's an activist. I don't know if he likes the connotation of activist. I will let him tell us about that. I can call him my friend. We met, because this internet thing, it's amazing. There is good things and there is bad things, like in all things in life. The duality, good and bad, it's always present. Okay, and the good thing is guys like me can connect with guys like him. Okay, a black man like me can connect with a black man like him, and we can try to build. Okay, you can build, because the internet, it's a world where you can build friendship. Okay, build solid connections with people that has the same, how am I going to say it, not vision, but has the same same ideas as you, the same, people that can vibrate and can understand. Because what is interesting is sometimes strangers can connect with you on a level that people around you normally don't. I don't know why. Someone could explain to us. I don't know, maybe a psychologist or people that work in the area of mind and all this kind of medicine. But yeah, sometimes you can make friends with perfect strangers, okay, that will understand you better than people that is around you. Like, for example, me in Portugal, we have a very specific dynamic. Okay, let me put, Taalib, I'm gonna put this. This is what Noah made. Noah made this, okay, so I have to use it. I was forgetting. Okay, and like me, a black man, African man. I was born in Portugal, and in Portugal, I always had the problem. Like, I had the challenge of not being. It's like I didn't belong to that place. Okay, to Portugal society, the mindset. And then when you meet people like this brother that I'm gonna bring him to all of us, so we can have a conversation. Okay, when I start talking with people like him, then I understand that maybe the problem is not me, because I'm seeing the same thing as Taalib is seeing, as other guys on other places and other women's and other people, okay, are experiencing on other continent, on other country. And one thing that me and Taalib, we've been talking about lots of things, working together. No, I gotta say to you guys, the script for Criolla, and he sent me ideas, visions, a script for other videos that I didn't make yet. Okay, the script for Criolla. Okay, there is hands of Taalib inside, so you guys can understand, because he's a filmmaker too. Okay, so when we realize that there, everywhere we are the same people, we have the same vision, we go through the same challenges. Okay, when we realize that, we understand that all the frontiers in the world can't break what makes us be a unique people. Okay, so I'll bring my guy for you guys that is right now entering to the chat and to the live. I'm bringing my guy Taalib. Okay, he's a lawyer, a filmmaker, activist, Pan-Africanist, and he's a brother. And we're gonna have a conversation about the diaspora. Okay, the African diaspora. So I'm gonna bring my guy. Hey, yo, Taalib, before you come in, don't come with that Pusha T stuff. Okay, don't come with that Pusha T stuff. Okay, and maybe I'll put Phat, maybe I'll insert Phat on this conversation later on. I'm just waiting for him to see the message. But don't come with that, don't come with that Pusha T stuff, okay?
It's all good, man. You look like Nas today, so it's cool.
I look like Nas? I would love to look like myself, but yeah, you know. So how are you, brother?
I'm good, brother. I'm good. You know, I don't complain because nobody really wants to hear it. So
yeah. Okay. Okay. I learned one today. Nobody wants to hear it. So how was the live that you had before this one?
It was cool. I actually got the times mixed up and the days, because it was a South African one where it was a whole bunch of attorneys that were based in mainly in South Africa, but then you had some, I think one was in Congo, and then the other one may have been in London somewhere. But we were basically talking about human rights violations and the legality of it, you know. And
okay.
Yeah, so it was cool. It was straight.
Okay, you know, you're my guest today, but you're not a guest. You're family.
Facts.
And maybe if you let me more, you know, in a few minutes when we have time to, I will insert maybe Phat, okay, on the conversation, and another family of ours too, so we can have such a beautiful vibe today. You know, we can bring some real conversation for the people. I don't know if my Portuguese people will follow everything that we're gonna talk about today, but I wish they can follow. José Bronze, via WhatsApp, please. Okay, via WhatsApp, please. Eu mandei tu link, okay? Eu mandei tu link. E Phat, I'm waiting for you, bro. I sent you the link, so I'm waiting for you. We need you today. So, brother.
Mm-hmm.
I have my first question today.
Okay.
It will come before you introduce yourself, because you introduce yourself better than me. So introduce yourself to the people that is here. What do you do? Who are you? Where are your origins from? Like where from Africa, the continent? Where are your parents from and stuff like that? So people can, you know, can familiarize more with your person.
I appreciate you, bro. First off, I give thanks to be on this platform, you know. Obrigado. I am a filmmaker, like you said, attorney, and organizer, activist, you know, here based in the DC area. I'm based out of Maryland, but it's the DMV area, as we call it here, so the DC metro area. Yeah, I've traveled for the past 7 years. I've been back and forth to the continent. So I've been to Ghana, Kenya, Tanzania, Rwanda, Uganda, South Africa. I plan to go to Angola, and you planned on performing in Angola.
Yeah. We talked about it.
But you know, so I'm just anything and everything that has to do with liberating our people. I'm for it. Now I can't necessarily tell you exactly where I'm from now, because I'm gonna have a reveal party later on, and a couple of the people who are going to be participating in it are tuned into this live, so I don't want to give it away. But I do know exactly where I'm from, where my people are from. And I really don't want to give any hints at all because there's one
Okay.
particular person I know that's tuned in. That's just,
Okay.
but yeah. So that's the origins, bro.
Okay. I grew up with hip hop, and me and my people, me and my friends, on our first click, not group, first click, before we start singing, we used to listen to hip hop and to see the videos and all that, all that visuals and energy, because we didn't understand like fully what they were talking about. Okay, but we could relate with the message, the images, and all that. And I always had the question, like a real big question on my head, like, why are we here and they are there? Do they know us? Do they know about us?
Mhm.
It's only me that knows that they exist, like we that receive the culture,
Mhm.
that for me, hip hop is older than the musical culture. Okay,
Right,
but
right.
that's another conversation. Like, we saw the videos and we were like, yo, that's us all day, like the same thing, the same visuals, the same reality, the cops, the ghetto and all that. And I used to think like, oh man, for me, I always thought that would be possible for us to get together, because I always thought like this, man. Nas is my favorite rap artist, and I
Mhm.
was like always like this. Me and my friends, Phat is gonna come in, and we're gonna have a beautiful conversation today.
Right.
And we knew that if those rappers knew us,
Mhm.
they would like us, they would connect with us, they would understand us. You understand? But there was never a connection between United States
Mhm.
and the blacks from the diaspora. Okay, like Europe and we that are in Europe, or even directly to Africa. But now I'm talking about me that was born in Portugal.
Right.
Okay, we used to see them and we used to dream about that. Like, yo, we know that life. We have the Beamers, we have the Benzes, we know the cops,
All
we
the time.
have the guns, we have all that stuff.
Mhm.
We the same people.
Mhm.
Why don't why we are not connected?
Right.
And now I'm here, 30 plus, going to the 40s, my age, of course. And I know you. And when we talk, I'll be like, yo, I knew that it was possible.
Mhm.
Talib, a question. Why do you think we are not that connected as we should?
I think that it was very intentional to do that because if you think about it, the way the system works, they kind of work us in silos. So you have the Black people who are in the United States, Black people who are in Europe, uh, Portugal, France, Britain, Black people who are on the continent, and then Black people who are in Brazil, Australia, and things of the kind. They intentionally have these silos to where they want to connect, they want to destroy the root because if we decided to say, all right, well, my brother in Portugal is similar to me and is going through similar things as I am. My sister in Brazil is going through similar things to my sister who's in Angola. We start to share experiences. We start to build together. We start to see similarities. That's the thing about Pan-Africanism is we don't focus on the differences. We focus on the similarities.
Exactly.
We see that. And then now we realize, oh, snap, only the Chinese and the East Indian make up more people collectively than we do as an African people.
Yeah.
So we would be able to throw down the shackles of oppression mentally and physically in some cases, and be able to unite and take back power. So I think that it has to do a lot with intentionality on the basis of those who are oppressing us, but also because we don't have collective power. So we don't even control, like, this is a beautiful thing that we're able to do this podcast here, but we don't control the media. So the Al Jazeera's, the what is it called, BBC's,
Yeah.
CNNs and all of them, they control it, and those families control it who do not look like us. So of course they're going to send messages out to make it appear as though we're different. So I can't even tell you how many times when I spoke to people about the injustices that you shared with me about Portugal and doing my own research about Portugal, people were like, no, that's Europe. That doesn't happen. Because only in America, apparently, only in the United States, racism exists. Only in the United States, Black folks are getting killed by the cops. Clearly, this is just the only country that's doing this. And time again, and you learn when you start to travel, but the media doesn't pick up on it, or at least doesn't highlight it for you, that this is going on wherever we are. So we don't control the media, which means we don't control the narrative, and we don't have we just don't have power in how we are being projected. And that's the main reason as to why, there's been a lot of division amongst us.
Okay. So basically, they know who we are and they know our power. So they divide us, but we don't. We don't understand. We don't know. And we keep like subconsciously investing on this division. And as you said, when I imagined this past podcast, I imagined that I would have to have like I'm not gonna say it. How am I gonna say it in English? I would have to have an episode that would have to be in English. And I guarantee you, brother, I had two persons on my mind. It was you and Phat. And I imagined like we do like one episode per month initially. Okay. Always me and you together on it. Phat, sometimes he doesn't have time, but he would jump on it. And we would find people from other places so we can have maybe a panel, 3, 4, and we can have these conversations like one episode per month at the beginning. Maybe if we need, we can do 2 or something like that, because and I know, and we've been talking for a long time now, that it has the most importance for us to be connected and to talk about the reality that we all share, but we don't know.
That's true.
People don't know, because imagine, for me, the problem with the world right now, it's the lack of empathy. But empathy, it's built with connection. If you don't see, you don't feel. So if you don't see, you don't feel, it doesn't exist. So we always received what comes from our brothers in the American continent as the word of God. Everything you guys did there, we want to do here. But me, I'm a different breed from where I come from. But I know that most of the others, because I'm an artist, but I have to say it to people that is coming right now. I'm an artist, and the artists around me, okay, they never felt that they could be like the guys from the United States. But me, my heart and my spirit always told me that we were the same people, but we didn't have the same machine. We didn't had the same structure. But if we would get together, we could build one, because everything I saw was us. Everything that I like, it's us. Everything that I saw was us. It's like we run things, but we didn't run nothing. And I was like always perplexed with, and I used to say to people around me, don't be a groupie of that guys. They are just like us. They are brothers. Let's get to, no, you crazy. They different. They this. No, bro. We the same people. Like Taalib, tell me something. Explain to me, how did America became? How did the Black people in America became this brand that on a level of communication, media, and etc., you guys are like the top, the top of the top of the African diaspora.
Right.
Can you explain to me how did the structure America, the machine, how they did it and why they did it?
Yeah, that so America or the United States has always been like within modern times has always been like a superpower. So naturally, you would have
Yeah,
those that are within the structure of America benefit in some capacity from that them being a superpower, and not necessarily from, let's say, our day-to-day activities per se,
yeah,
but the projection of what America is. Because you find that there are a lot of people who may come from the continent that come to the States that didn't even know that Black folks existed here because of
yeah,
the media and how it portrayed. It only shows Hollywood. It only shows maybe the beaches. It only shows, the glitz and glam that may just be only white. So when you come and you see Black folks, like, oh snap, what's this? Where y'all? How y'all get here? But how it happened historically was you had the people who were escaping oppression in Europe come to what is now called the United States, but North America,
yeah,
and they essentially committed genocide against the indigenous people that were here. And once they did that, and as they were doing that, they decided to enslave these people, to get them to work on the fields and the plantation, these type of things. So because these people were dying out in large numbers and also escaping because they knew the landscape, they knew they'd been there for several hundreds of years, so they know to escape, how to escape. They said, okay, well, we need particular people who can withstand these conditions, but also who are skilled and who have experience in cultivation of certain crops. So, for instance, in the Carolinas, where rice is produced, we need those that are able to do that. So that would look like where your people are from. So that Cape Verde, Guinea, well, more so Guinea, that region. All right. Okay. If you needed cotton to be picked, then you would take another group of Africans that were experienced in that to come here to be able to cultivate that, and then sugarcane as well as we continue to move down the coast of the United States. So as you were doing that, as they were doing that, they were getting their capital off of the backs of enslaved Africans that were not being paid at all. That's how you have the disparity between wealth. And that's also how you have the disparity with, the United States in comparison to the other countries that have been established for like years, So after slavery happened and all that, then there was Reconstruction, and I won't bore you with the details of everything, but so you get to a point where Black folks were only looked at or looked good upon if we were entertainers in some capacity. So whether that be musicians, comedians, artisans, whatever the case may be, because intellectually, they did not want us to compete with them because they know we've been here for thousands of years. So like,
we know everything.
exactly, right? So they reduced us to just that. And as they reduced us to that, they began to kind of insert themselves into this whole culture that we created, which is an amalgamation, a mixture of African culture and then also some European culture, all mixed into one is what you have now with our culture. And when they did that, they started to corrupt the culture. And now from that, we've always learned how to make do with nothing, So with that being said, because of the blues and the musicality that we had, that's what transitioned into hip hop and how we have hip hop now to talk about our struggles and stories and stuff like that. But the projection of us being like the top tier, if you want to call it that, of the diaspora is mainly because of the benefit of being within this, I call it Babylon, but being in the belly of the beast, which is, the United States. And when they are projected around the world, it's projected to be like you are from this dilapidated land that nobody else wants to go to, or you're from a area that isn't as fully developed as the United States. You need to go there, and you need to be and ascribe to what they are doing. And not only that, I'm going to continue to to perpetuate this by intentionally maybe sanctioning your country or intentionally cutting off certain supplies or certain things that you can't do on your own. And I'll give a quick example, then I'll yield. With I think it was the Great Lakes region. So Rwanda, Uganda, and Kenya, I believe, some years ago, the United States told them they had like some type of treaty or agreement where they were dumping their secondhand clothes to these countries. And I believe it was Rwanda that said, no, we don't want it. So the United States literally said, no, you're going to take this or we're going to cut off your the money that we give you.
Yeah.
You know, so they were attempting to handcuff because they said that more countries than just Rwanda, but Rwanda was the one that said, no, we're not going to do it. And it's much akin to what they've been doing in Haiti with the dumping of the things like NGOs that are there that will supply some of the basic necessities, but it undercuts the economy for them. So now, because you can get shoes, say at, let's just say 10 cents, as opposed to paying a full dollar for it from these NGOs, that suppresses your economy and the people who produce that, the artisans that produce that. So now it's like, well, shoot, I don't have a job. So now let me go to the United States because you've bankrupted me and I don't have anything to do here. So that's kind of how you have how we got to where we are now.
It was all thinked and designed. You know, sometimes I go like, wow, it's amazing. Amazing, not on a positive note. It's like when you sit quiet and you reflect about what is the world, you know, and the little bit that we know, Taalib, because I know that like consciously we know a little bit of nothing. I know that spiritually we know it all, but we don't have access to it because we are on layers of program. We are programmed on so many levels that you don't have a direct contact with your source, your energy source, your intellectual source, your spiritual source. So that's why I made the question, and you guys just and you responded, and someone here, Dima Mahmoud, is now called the U.S. and we must call it as such. Calling it America consumes North and South America as continents and places them as second and third place. Okay, I see it.
She does amazing work, by the way, bro. Amazing work. And she's Nubian, so she's from the Sudan area.
And Taalib, I'll insert here an elder of mine, José Bronze. Okay, so I don't believe he's designed. I think they be on some trial or on error. Yeah. I understand. I'll insert you in. Of course, it's not like designed like they know what they're doing. No, they designed something and they are trying to perfect it, and they do trials and errors, like the vaccines, like the food, like they study us, they make us sick, then they build us, they destroy us, they give they give 2 or 3, like how do they call a token Negro? Yeah, that's how they say it. They let 1 or 2 go in, then the other, so they studying us. José Bronze, I'm gonna add you to the conversation, bro. Yo, what up? The sound. I'm gonna add you to the conversation, bro. The sound, bro. The sound. No, don't have no sound. Jobella anda por dentro. But yeah, I'll let him see what is going on with the sound. And okay, so and let's go to the questions that I have. And it's not just questions because you're on the other side. I know that you understand that we from here need to understand from the mouth of black men, like black people like yourself, that we are the same.
Yeah.
And once we are empowered with that reality, like, yo, that's our brother over there. He's being killed by the police at the same level as us. Okay. So we have to help each other. We have to connect with each other. We have to see we have to see all of us as the same. And that's the only way that I see for us to fight this common enemy. But I'll see if Jose Bronze, it's okay. Jose, I'm gonna add you.
Yes, can you hear me now?
Yes,
Okay, I was just listening because I'm super humble. It's not my show, so
No, but you my guy, and Taalib is my guy. So we are all guys right now. We the brothers right now.
All right.
To add something, today I was seeing a video. I was watching a video, a child video in YouTube with my youngest. Okay, and on the song they were saying like three ducks. We have to be together. No, we have to be united. We have to be together. Your friend is going to be my friend, and my friend is going to be your friend. And that's the way. So this is the way that we lead. Your friend is my friend, and we make friendships. And with the friendships, we're going to go far. So Jose Bronze, introduce yourself to my brother and to the public, because probably there is people here that doesn't know you. Just introduce yourself just a little bit, and then you can insert yourself on the conversation, because we have to, people have to identify with us and to understand what we do, where we come from, and all that stuff.
Well, as I said, I'm super humble. So actually, a very few people know who I am or what I ever did, because I'm grassroots to the bone. I'm behind the scenes. I'm undercover, if you know what I'm saying. So I've supported a lot of initiatives that I believed in. And a few guys, for example, that came from Portugal to Holland, that Rahiz knows, and that's actually how I came to know Rahiz. But always behind the scene, I produced I think the first hip hop project in Cape Verdean, and that is hip hop, like in hip hop music, and not rapping over kizomba. And also of the black youngsters here in the Netherlands. I believe a lot of us, how I used to call it, I believe a lot of us boys, our boys, are weaved out the house and end up in the streets. And what I mean by that is the self-hate at home is unbearable. So we prefer to be in the streets. And so, I discovered my talents very late. And I thought, let me reach out to boys like me and my brother, I'm unknown, but my work is known. Let me put it that way.
Yeah, guys like me know. That's why I'm exposing you today. You don't have nowhere. You don't have no place to run.
you were the first. You were the first to name me.
Yeah,
and I was knocked out, so to speak. I was really flabbergasted, and I felt exposed, etc.
Yeah. That's what I do. I expose my feelings. I expose what I think. I speak my mind, and then we have to be for each other what we want others to be for us. And what I see, it's that we black men, we have so many challenges on our mind that we don't understand how it's we don't understand the value of supporting each other. It's something very simple as, what's up, JB, how are you? Taalib, yo, what's up, my brother? Love you. And stuff like that, and then if I have a platform, it's nothing, because Taalib is my host today. because he's our brother from the other side of the of Atlantic, from that United States of America, that we, the other black guys around here that I know, need to be connected so we can understand how we can digest all this and maybe not physically do something, because I understand the power of the will. There is not much will on our people to change. And that starts on conversations, conversations with intentions. And me, I have the intention of provoking conversations that can challenge us to, on a positive manner, to try to decode. Because me, I'm better when I'm talking with Jose. I'm better when I'm talking with Taalib, and we connect. So Jose, you were saying that you don't believe that it's a design. It is more like a trial and on error. That's what you said about what I was proposing. Can you elaborate on that, bro?
We, us black folks, we hand over the power. There's no white supremacy. I actually believe it's the other way around. It's not who's on top, but it's this system. For this system, it's important who's on the bottom. Well, system is also a word used in psychiatry, and it means the thought frame that you're locked in. So the thought frame that the world population is locked in is that the black man is on the bottom.
Yeah.
And as soon as the black man tries to escape from it, people get uncomfortable, even black folks. So it's not a plan. I believe when I'm really honest, I believe we keep this system in place. And then I look at my personal situation with my uber humbleness. I stay poor because I don't reveal who I am. You understand?
Yeah.
So I mirror that to the black community.
Yeah.
And we don't reveal who we are, how great we are. Things are sold with our face, clothes. What you were talking about before I entered was you asked Taalib the question, why is the American black on top? And I believe the United States is a colony of old money. Yes. And the world, it's like a display of a shop, you know, and the world is window shopping. And the owner of the shop uses, of course, black people to sell the American lifestyle. So imagine you're an extraterrestrial and you study planet Earth. You see people try to act like us, so you might assume that black people are in charge.
Yeah. I feel you. Yeah.
What's your thought about that, Taalib?
That's true. That's what I've experienced when I've been traveling, that you have this projection of black. The best way I can describe it is, I remember going to, and this wasn't even after, I went to the UAE. I had a layover there from Ghana, and I was going through the market to pick up some spices, and one of the merchants said, he was trying to sell me coal. At the time I was doing shisha, so he attempted to sell me some coal for that, and I'm like, nah, this seems too expensive. So I asked the shop across the way, how much it was, and he told me. I said, "You see, yours is too expensive." He's like, "I don't understand. You come from America," as he described it. You got the money, and you're all basketball players and rappers and stuff like that. And I was like, well, that wasn't the first time I've heard it, but I'm like, that's not the reality. And a lot of times, what happens is people don't realize the condition. The United States is one of the few countries, if not the only, that has the top % of wealthy people that live in it, but also some of the poorest people that live in the same country. So a lot of people don't fully understand the dynamics of how the United States work and how you have systemic things. So I always equated to something that Khalid Muhammad said about how, your mind is on Mars while your behind is behind bars. And it's like we deal with the tangible things of food, clothing, and shelter for our people to be able to sustain themselves and survive. And we understand there's a duality to it. So there's a mental headspace that you have to be in to know that if you are the original people of the planet, then you can rule and control what it is that you can manifest what you mentioned, in your mind. But at the same time, also acknowledging the fact that there are conditions that are real, that exist, that people are faced with on a daily. And I think that's what happens when you deal with classism, because a lot of people I mentor a lot of you, some of you, that have real life situations. I'm a lawyer. I would be considered within the petty bourgeois class based on my status as a lawyer.
Yeah.
So there are people who are literally in poverty, that have been in poverty for some time, that do not have access to resources. The government, we can take a city like Flint, Michigan, how they have intentionally not changed the water system there. And these people have been drinking bad water and using bad water for maybe 5 years now, 5 or 6 years now. So if not more, that's when it hit the media, but they've been doing that longer than that. So there are systemic things that are at play that a lot of times are not projected. The United Nations was here, and I believe it was Alabama and Mississippi, so the southern part of the United States, a couple of years ago, and they surveyed a particular area where they didn't even have a sewage system. So you had backed up sewage that was happening in the United States. In the United States, this glorified place that everybody likes to think that nothing bad happens here. This is what's going on. So when you travel around the world and you see and they actually encounter you and they talk to you, please understand those that are able to go travel are the ones that have the resources to do it. So you don't even talk to the people that are unable to travel to go to these countries like Portugal, the Netherlands, or any place in Africa, because they may have budgeted for. You got people that don't even know where their money is coming from to pay the rent. That's not even concerned about traveling. They're just concerned about how they're going to survive on the daily. You go talk to them and ask them, why is it that they're in the state or the condition that they're in? It's not because they don't want to do it. It's because they don't have the access to resources to be able to do it, which is systemic and something that has been happening and intentional by the U.S. government and by other entities that are at play with it. So I think that with us, the reason why that is projected like that, it goes back to the access that we have to be able to tell our stories and our narrative, and the fact that we don't control what the media puts out there. But through YouTube, through Instagram, through the social media platforms, now our stories are starting to be told even more so, which is why you see the police killings and shootings that happen and those type of injustices. So we're able to control the narrative a little bit more, but there's still much more work that needs to be done.
I believe you are our voice. So, for example, Lisbon. I believe Lisbon is I get the impression Lisbon is also at the same level as the United States with the police violence, and it's I believe Lisbon is fairly comparable with I don't want to say Chicago and Detroit, but
but I want to add to that. You know why? Because Taalib, I was seeing some images of Detroit, brother. I was like, this is here. I know a place just like that. And I didn't know that existed a few years ago. I never imagined that there was places like Detroit and some places like I was like, whoa. And I was thinking, okay, so Portugal in Europe, when I say people that in Portugal, you still have people in ghettos like Jamaica. In other countries in Europe, they don't believe it. Even when I showed it, I
Yeah.
show it to them and they be like, no, this is in Portugal. And I'd be like, yes, this is in Europe. Today, there is still a place where people are living in conditions that you would say that's impossible.
Rotterdam has been the murder capital for almost 15 years in a row. That's where I live. But you don't see scenes like in Lisbon. And it's probably probably the murder capital because of the harbor and drug traffic. But it's not like you have real ghettos.
Yeah.
This is why this conversation is important, because some of the viewers didn't know that this exists. Like you said, you didn't know the condition. Like y'all said, you didn't know the conditions here. We didn't know. I was talking to somebody about Portugal. They had no idea about police brutality and things that go on in Portugal. And then I remember back when I traveled to Kenya, and I believe it 2015, the uprisings in Baltimore were going on because they just Freddie Gray was just killed, and Baltimore was just set on fire. And I remember showing some youth. They had to have been between the ages of like 12 and 19. They were football players. So I remember showing the youth America. But before I showed them that, I said, well, what is your view of the United States? They said, oh, it's heaven. You know, I can't wait to be there. Da, 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 da. So I pulled up on my phone, because in Baltimore, just to tell you the dynamics of Baltimore, it's essentially a tale of two cities. You have the west side of Baltimore, and then essentially like the rest of Baltimore. So when you go downtown to the harbor and those type of places, it looks like someplace in East London, you know, just the high buildings, you know, fashion district, all that stuff. But when you go to the west side, it looks like Iraq, you know. So I was showing them these images of what was going on there and how they had like lead in the buildings. The kids weren't getting educated. It was a food apartheid. I don't use the term desert because desert is a natural thing, but like it was food apartheid. They didn't have access to any fresh food or anything like that in a lot of communities there. And they literally looked at the pictures and said, brother, is this the 21st century? And I said, yes, this is what's going on in Baltimore, in Maryland, in the United States. But because of how they are projecting things, they don't want to show you that, because that will force them to talk about the injustices that go on systemically within the United States, which will expose them. So now they can't go around and accuse Syria of human rights violations, or, you know, North Korea of human rights violations, or even China or Russia, and not expose themselves for the violations that they have done.
Brother, you guys just let me say this. Yo, Phat, we need you on this one, because I'm in Switzerland. Taalib, it's in Chicago. Jose, it's in Holland, and I need you from UK. We have to do this like elegantly. We have to do this, bro. So say your mobile to charge quick, because this is history in the making. Taalib, I had a question, and you made me see things, and then I lost myself, because it's also visual. Yeah. It's also visual that, as I see it, the main problem is because we don't see it.
Right.
They don't show it.
Right.
But when we talk about it, people can relate with it. That's the power of media. They use sounds, images, and between this marriage of sound and image, there is a lot of things that we don't, even men don't know how to explain, how they come in and how they work on the subconscious of people. Because, bros, let me tell you this. On my way of seeing things, there is no way that we would accept this condition if we all knew and see exactly what is happening at the real time with everybody. But they separate us on realities. So I think that I'm in Portugal in the ghetto, and and someone from Cascais doesn't have my problem. Okay, so we divide ourselves as humans, as society, like this. Like, yo, what does he knows about my reality? He knows. You don't know he knows because you don't know him. And because we don't talk with each other, nobody shares experiences. That's my problem with intellectual people, as I like to call them. Where's the word? I'm asking my ancestors to give me the English that I need to communicate today. What is the word? People that studied Taalib in Portugal, I have a problem with them. And it's not, when I say a problem, it's not a negative connotation. It's like, me, I know that everything you read is not true. So when you're going to talk to me that I saw the cop killing a 14-year-old kid in front of me, like not in front, but a few meters,
right?
You don't know that reality because you didn't experience it. So don't come and tell me what you saw on a book that explains me how we are in this situation. What is the condition? What is the what is going to? No, I know it. I was there.
Yeah.
And one thing that Black people have to understand, we have to tap in on our experiences. We are always trying to run from what we are living in the moment. That's why we never, and Bronze, JB, we talked about it last time. We are always running of living what is happening in the moment, expecting for a future to be resolved and a solution to come in the future, and we don't take the time because we are traumatized. We have layers and layers of programming that doesn't let us be focused in the moment, so you can translate that to solutions. So you're always running from the police, literally, your whole life. Even if the police is not there, you're always running from the police. And you know what is the solution? You have to, when you make a philosophical approach of life, you will never conquer your fear without confronting your fear. So our fear, it's not the police. Police is here to make you fear, okay, the perspective of you awakening and understanding that they are less in numbers than you. Once you understand that unity is the solution, you will understand that, okay, I've been running from them. The solution is, I don't need to run from them. I need to join with my people. You don't need to run from nobody. You need to unite with your people. And once you make the number, they will not run after you, because you cannot kill 1 billion or more than 1 billion. You can only kill one people at a time, or 2 or 3 or 4. So we've been literally running from the solution of the condition that we are in. That is, don't run, unite. Okay, so I'll add Phat. My God.
Finally.
Yo.
What's up, man? Mr. Taalib, what's up? What's good?
What's up, bro?
Can you hear me, yeah?
Yeah, we hear you.
Yeah.
Good night, everybody. Good night, man.
Yeah.
How you doing? How you doing, everybody?
Yeah, we good.
Good, man. I was in the plantation. Sorry.
Yeah, I was going to ask you. I ask you that.
I came late, man. I'm tired. But
Okay.
I couldn't miss this one, man.
Yeah, no, you couldn't.
I couldn't.
Yo, bro, I started with you. It's not possible for me to exist without,
definitely, man.
without visualizing you inside of my conversations.
Indeed.
Okay, as I was saying to Taalib on the beginning, when we were starting doing hip hop and we would see the guys there, me and you, I can talk about me and you. We were more, but me and you, especially, we have a different connection. And we always understood that those there that we are seeing in the video, they are like us. Okay, so today we hear that I'm in Switzerland, you in the UK, JB it's in Holland, and Taalib it's in the US.
Yeah.
Phat, Taalib is our guest because he is our guest. Okay, today he's our guest.
Definitely.
Bro, Phat,
Yo.
I have a question for you, so we can then go.
Yo,
Why?
so we dive. Yeah,
Okay,
let's go.
okay. Why do I think that if we erase the
conscious
aspect of economy, solve our problems? What I'm trying to say is why I think that racism is a problem, because capitalism needs racism to exist. What do you have to add, and what you have to evolve on that? Capitalism and racism being like the same person but different alter egos.
Yeah, for me, racism is a pillar. You know, when you build a house, and when you build your house, the first thing you're gonna build is a pillar, isn't it? So for me, when they lay down the brick, the first thing was racism. That's the pillar who can support the house so you don't break down. You know what I mean? So everything involves around that. You can see the example right now, Democrats. You know, Taalib know what I'm talking about.
Yeah.
They're looking for votes now. They're hyping up what happened in Wisconsin. So their thing is race. They always bite on the race thing. So now they're looking for votes. So you know how we are, you know, naive as we are, we're going to jump on the Joe Biden back because they're using race again. Because this is what the imperialism basically start with racism, basically. So this is the pillar. Regardless, for the economy, he evolves around it. That's the first thing. And then after that, you can, you know, it's like I'm going to explain. It's like a squid, you know what I mean? There's a lot of different angles, different arms, you know, go all over the place. Before I go deep on this, Taalib, Bmore, isn't it?
You said what?
Right now, you live in Bmore right now, isn't it? Baltimore.
I do a lot of work up in Baltimore, but I live outside the DC area in Maryland.
Yeah, DC area. Okay, so Merlin, exactly, because I know Merlin. Because when I say Bmore, it's Baltimore. So for the people don't know, Bmore, yeah. And this is where they did The Wire, isn't it?
Yes.
The series The Wire. So if nobody's seen The Wire yet, we'll see that. This is exactly what we're talking about right here today. Well, about capitalism, drugs, poverty, why we stuck into it. It's so many angles. Do you know this? But for me, the best example I can give, when you lay bricks to build a house, the first thing you build is the pillar. You know what I mean? And the pillar is racism, bro. And then after that comes the rest of it. You know what I mean? So when you destroy that, it's over.
Taalib,
everything's gonna crumble, man. Everything's gonna crumble.
Taalib, expand on that.
Yeah, that hit the nail on the head with that, because that whole dynamic of capitalism, imperialism, like it's all intertwined, but it is based on, you can't have capitalism in its existence without racism.
Without racism, yeah.
You think about how that dynamic is. You essentially, in capitalism, you need a poor class. So you need someone who's a working class that will be able to produce the work or produce the product, and then a class that would be able to exploit that or take advantage. So that's why you always are going to have like poverty within that particular system. Now, I think the overlooked aspect of it that Phat was dealing with was imperialism, because, and this ties into like the politics of what's going on here, because a lot of people don't know the foreign policy of the United States or any other Western countries, to be honest, because you align yourself with people who you believe may have your best interest at heart because of what they say they're going to do. But with any type of politicians, you know, it's always, what's the track record? They are, you know, that they come every 4 years, or if it's every 2 years or every 6 years, wherever you live, they come every so often, and then they'll promise you the moon and the stars. I think about it like a date. You know, when you got this bad, and since we're all brothers on it, when you got like
Yeah.
this bad queen, right?
Yeah.
And you're like, all right, I can take you here, I can take you there, I can give you this experience, I can give you that experience, you know, just give me some time, da 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 da. Politicians have literally been sweet talking us like that for years,
Mhm.
you know, and for us, we've been like that naive woman. Oh, really? Okay. All right, anything you say, you know, just for the votes, you know, and it's like for us to fully become what Malcolm X said, politically conscious and politically mature, you have to really look at the aspects of it. So with imperialism, that's just the militarization of a particular country to exploit the people. So a lot of people don't realize that the United States have bases all around the world in all these other countries, but name me one country that has a base in the United States.
In the United
And
States.
there you go.
So it's like when you think about imperialism, they're forcing their will on the people through the military, you know, to exploit the people and tell them, okay, well, you need to do A, B, C, or else you're going to face these type of sanctions. You're going to get embargo, stuff like that. And a classic example, I'll give you two: Venezuela and Zimbabwe. When Robert Mugabe was in Zimbabwe, the whole country had sanctions. So
Yeah.
there was some human rights injustices going on there that was alleged and stuff like that with the people. But you take Zimbabwe, and because they were under sanctions, that means that they couldn't import a lot of stuff because people said, "No, we're not giving it to you." So it's essentially they're starving them out. Same thing with Venezuela. Now Venezuela has an embargo on them to where like they can't receive much aid. So what happens is when you do that, you cut them off. Now the people have to essentially, it's the Hunger Games for people to survive and the government to figure out exactly what it is that they're going to do. And that's projected into the entire international community to appear as though it's a human rights violations that's going on there, based off of the fact that these people can't meet their basic necessities, which leads to other things that are byproducts of it, instead of addressing the fact that you had an agreement amongst the Western nations to say, we're going to essentially freeze them out. And this is the reason as to why this is going on. So you have people that are in the political structure or the system that perpetuate this, but they don't talk about that aspect because they may have hot sauce in their purse, or they may dance a jig a little bit, or say that, you know, they want to fight ABC. And you're not even realizing that the same people that are saying that were the same people that said, we came, we killed, we won, when it comes to other people, other leaders within the world. So, yeah.
But that's the art of war. And and when I see how the United States made everything, I'd be like, yo, nobody read like the book. It was only the guys that built United States that read like the art of war, because yo, they good on it. How do you have bases? It's incredible. How can you have a room inside my house, okay, and I don't have one inside yours? And then when I do something to my family because I'm the provider, if you are not okay with what I am preaching inside my house, you come out of that room, and if you kill me, if you will. It's crazy how this world works, and it's insane how we men, especially black men, see this, and we don't understand the levels of wrong that everything is it. Okay, so now I'm gonna go to Jose Bronze because
the most powerful weapon that we don't seem to understand, and I share this 3-minute piece of Omar Johnson a lot on social media in discussions. The most powerful weapon that we don't seem to understand
propaganda.
is propaganda.
Yeah. And you know, my question would be something that would take you there. I'm saying, you brothers, this conversation is the energy is amazing today. And I'm gonna, Jose, I was going to add emotions. How is propaganda and emotions related? Can you expand on that, bro?
I believe emotions come from what we learn before we understand.
Yes.
So that which lives in our underbelly is put there before we even learned how to speak.
Epigenetics.
Yeah, genetic, yes, but also impressions. You know how our brain stores things. It's sound bites and images.
Images, yeah.
And well, speaking of propaganda, when are we going to sell us? Everybody uses us to sell their shit. When are we going to sell us? When are we going to sell to say, look, the best product is from Africans, any African, you know, the Africans in Europe, the Africans in the United States, or the whole Americas, and of course the Africans back home. When are we going to sell us?
Yeah.
When are we going to apply propaganda instead of emotion, react emotion?
Yeah.
So there's act and there's react, and emotions most of the times is a reaction, right?
Yes. You guys make me feel good. JB, you were talking about sound bites, and today I was thinking about something. How come the universe, Taalib, if you allow me to introduce on our conversation spirituality,
Sure.
I'll go in a little bit because the four of us here, I have a connection with you guys before I can understand it. But that's me trying to talk about something that I cannot talk with everybody. Don't ask me where I learn it, because I don't know how to teach you about things that I feel. I can show you the way, and I can lead you by expressing myself as an example of what I'm feeling. Okay? So, sound bites, brothers. Sometimes I have visions, sometimes I have reflections. Most of the time when I envision something, it makes sense to me. When I reflect, I have to do it again and again. But sometimes I go like, wow, I saw it. And when you see it, you understand it. That's why the television and the media are so dangerous. So, sound bites. Taalib, I have to go to you again because you are our guest. Bro, I was thinking about something, and I hope that our brothers and sisters of the US that are seeing right now can understand that my English is not, he's good, but sometimes if I say something that it's not connected, it's just because I have it's not my main language. But I want to say this: sound bites. I see this killing of black people like we see sound bites, but that's me. Maybe I'm crazy.
Nah.
Maybe I'm crazy. I'll expand a little bit just to give you, and then you go there.
Okay.
I made a live today, and I said, I will not promote the killing of black people anymore. When I want to talk about something, I will talk about it without using images that are contrary to the place that I want to guide you to. So, Chadwick, rest in peace, died. The sound bite that I'm saying is, there was a place in the world, once upon a time that people would die and nobody would know. So, people that knew you would cry, would do whatever they have to do to celebrate you, but the world would do all of the people that didn't know you, the world would, you're happy, you sad, but you were not programmed to be sad or to be happy because someone that you don't know died. Follow me, guys, because I'm trying to, it's a computer in Portuguese, then it goes in English.
Going.
I have to take my time because in Portuguese, I do it like this. So I have to be able to do it in English like this. So he died. He's our brother. Cancer and etc. I don't cry people that die. I don't feel it that way.
Mhm.
I'm on a place right now that I don't cry when brothers go. And I don't
Indeed.
feel that as they told us to feel.
Mhm.
When some of us go,
Mhm.
I look to my people and I be like, are you guys taking the lesson? Because me, I'm seeing spiritually something manifesting and we are not following, and who has the media are taking these sound bites and make us feel awful, make us be scared, make us feel weak. It's like they are using these sound bites. So in a certain matter, I'm like, these cops are really killing us. And then I go, there is two ways. They can be killing us on purpose. Because not because the cop that is killing you knows what he's doing. It's because there is a force and an energy that is already in place that makes you act upon it to build on it. It's like the way you move, it's always to keep the system moving. So we receive these sound bites. Cops are killing us. I know, because they are not killing us only in the United States. They are killing us everywhere. But every day people die. Why are only the killings, the killing of black men entertained in the effing television and the media, and we as black people, every time they do that, we don't understand the dynamics of the sound bites? That is, Noah cannot see every day he goes to see cartoons somebody talking about a black man that was killed by the police, because that is already programming Noah to feel scared in a world that is it's his to its heritage. Okay, so I see the sound bites as something that is imprisoning us in a state of spiritual and mental frequency that doesn't help us, and we don't learn with the ancestrals that was warriors. One that kills, you kill one of us, I will not cry. If you kill us, we will get more, like we will inspire it on that to win the war for all the soldiers that are dead. But we are not doing that. Sound bites, Taalib.
Yes.
I've been thinking about, am I doing right every time that a black man dies and I share it on my Instagram? And I was like, no, brother, you're not. Because they do it. Why should I do it? We can talk about it. We have to do something about it. But you cannot promote it just because you feel sad. Yes, they killed a man. But do you realize that we are working in favor of the
Favor to
machine,
them. Yeah, exactly.
feeding an energy that, in my perspective, it's expressing himself, it's expressing like in the law of attraction. If we are a people and a people has a mind and a conscience, if we are scared as a people, the universe doesn't feel sad, doesn't feel nothing about nobody. The universe gives you what you attract. So if they, I be like, they know that we are the ones that have the energy to shift everything: culture, fashion, music, everything. So I'll be like, these guys are smart, because they know if they entertain us with the negativity and we be scared all the time, we will feed the energy wrongly, because they know if we feed the energy of uplifting, we have the power to do that.
Selling us, yes.
So Taalib, tell me about this vision that I have about sound bites. I think that they are giving us sound bites. They're killing us. The cop that is killing us doesn't know. But the main mind that designed this knows that he designed something that works like on automatic. So right now, when you see all over the place, everybody dies every day, but only black people are entertained on the medias. Why, Taalib? Can you expand on that?
Bro, that's like an excellent assessment of what's going on. And I'd be remiss not to say to your
That's your point of view.
Being not being English, not being your first language. So the fact that we're not speaking an indigenous African language right now is a problem.
Yeah.
Whether you speak Portuguese, whether I speak English, or you have people that speak in French or Spanish, it's all European languages.
Yeah.
So the fact that we're not speaking an African language is an issue. Let's start with that. So don't apologize for you being speaking English or anything like that. Let's just get that clear. But you're right with the high frequency, and they know exactly how to attack on a cellular level. You know, so they will project the images to invoke the emotion that they want to get out of you. So that way you can continue to be subjected to a particular condition. So if I project, right, you always, let's take the 80s, for instance, right, when they were continually projecting drugs and like this welfare queen and us taking advantage of the system and all this and that. Like black folks are the only ones that's doing this. That's what that's what the media shows you, right? So what if I were to tell you that the majority of people who are on welfare in the United States were white?
Yeah.
You know, and one of the highest, if not the highest state that has welfare or welfare recipients is Kentucky, which is a majority white state. You know what I'm saying? So like by them projecting us in that light, it's like, well, we're going to tell you what to think. And it's the same with the police brutality thing, you know. Now, granted, they are killing us at disproportionate rates, but I look at that the same way. I say, okay, and as an organizer, it hits me a little different because I'm out in the community actually doing the work. So I'm not as, anytime that our people are killed, you know, it does impact me, but I'm not as temperamental because of what the media may project, because I can see people die literally that I've worked with or that I have assisted in some capacity, you know, who I knew personally, and not something that has been politicized within the realm of the media. You know, black people have been killed, shot and killed ever since they kidnapped us off the shores of Africa and brought and dispersed us, hence the diaspora, right? So it doesn't, the sound bites that you're talking about is true, because again, anytime that the media is all on the same page about this one particular story, you got to question that. Like when the coronavirus and COVID-19 first happened, the pandemic first happened, that is all you heard about. Every station, every media outlet, major media outlet, that's all they were talking about, no matter where you were. You barely heard about the weather because of the COVID-19 and what was going on. Then all of a sudden, a black man gets shot and killed, and then that whole narrative changes. They talked about it a little bit, but now they're pushing this in your face about this brother getting shot. At first, here in the States, it happened with the brother Aubrey Ahmaud down in Georgia, when he got shot by these racist whites down there. And of course, George Floyd, first, then Aubrey, then, you know, this. So it's like they're continuing to push this, but notice they're not talking about education. They're not talking about the education system and how our students, how our kids are literally enduring the school to prison pipeline. They're not talking about you know, food access. So they tell you about, that's the thing. Let's touch on COVID for a second. So they tell you about all the number of people that have been subjected to COVID, the cases that they have, right? The cases and the death. They do not, and this is how you know the media is not reporting unbiasedly. They do not, in the same token, report the same amount of recoveries that they have with this. So you ask yourself, well, why is it that you're only focusing on one half of the story? I'm not saying like this disease isn't, or this virus doesn't exist.
It's not real.
And that it's not balanced in the reporting of it, you know? So you have that. And then as it relates to healthcare, you know, you don't hear anything about people still dying of other diseases or other things or underlying conditions when you talk about the agricultural system. there was a study that happened where they would take black kids and they would pump them. It was a major university. I cannot remember if it was California, University of Southern California, or another one, I forget. But they would have this study where they would take these black kids and they would attach the fuel from the pipes of the cars and pump it into their nostrils to determine if they would be able to tolerate pollution. Now the parents, I think they paid the parents maybe like $100, $200 or something like that. And normally what they do is they target our communities that are impoverished, to exploit. But where's the outrage that they talk about or focus on with regards to that? Even with the police brutality cases, they don't even focus on the communities because the narrative is either, you're getting shot and killed by the police, but you all are, because the counter to that is always, you all are killing yourselves. So, why are y'all focusing on the police? They do not highlight the fact that there are several organizations on the daily that are in the streets making sure that does not happen. Industries hitting it at the pass before a situation escalates. In DC, there's a couple of organizations that do that. So when you say sound bites, again, it goes back to the original point of us not controlling the narrative in our media. Because if we control the media, like if African people literally control the media, it would be a completely different story. You would see more stories about us thriving. You would see more stories about us being successful. You wouldn't have this one narrative about either we're rappers, entertainers, or something in which doesn't encompass all of us.
All of
it's
us.
A small subsect of us, and we make, what are we, like 1.6 billion people or something like that on the planet? So
they say.
So it's like we make up so much more. I'm pretty sure I can go to Lisbon or even in Switzerland, and with the black folks, y'all got a couple black folks there, but I could even go there and survey the black folks that's there and say, yo, what do you do? Okay, what do you do? What do you do? Oh, I thought that maybe I was just janitors because that's the only thing that they portray in the media about. You know what I'm saying? So it's like we are not a monolith as a people, but the media wants to make sure that we think of ourselves as that. So that's why they project it.
Yeah. Yo, Phat.
Deep, man, deep. Yo, you already know it's about spells, G. Let me just
this one is gonna go to you.
Let's go.
Sometimes I'm analyzing things and I had questions all my life, and I was like, why everything is red or blue? And I'm being honest with you guys. When I go to the toilets, the how do you say the Taalib? How do you say the water?
The tap.
The tap.
Oh, the water.
The tap to open the water.
Bro, it's the truth. I would ask myself, why is this? Why does cold it's blue and hot is red? I had these questions for my mom, and my mom is a very interesting person. She would ask me as it is, and she would say to me, because there is good and bad, up and down, but my mom wouldn't tell me because there is like that without saying to me on the end, this is what they say. But me as your mom, I'm telling you that I think that there is other things on it. So she would tell me how they would explain to us, and then we would elaborate if we could on other perspectives. Because while I'm on red and blue fats, it's because then you have creeps and bloods. Guys, follow me, please. Then you have creeps and bloods. And then I grew up and I said, why does all the big flags in the world of the big countries have red and blue? Bro, this is my Phat know me. I see things and I question myself. I say less than I have it on my mind, because sometimes I'll be like, no, I have to stay with this because I cannot talk with it. I cannot talk this with everybody. Then I was like, creeps and bloods, red and blue. The big flags of the big
and Republicans.
Red and blue. The life, it's about heat. Yo, Africa would be red because of the sun. Europe would be blue Because if we talk about Ice Age,
Okay, I get it now. Mhm.
I'm just saying the way that they gave it to us. Hot, it's red. Okay, cold is blue. Now they change it. Red, they have green and stuff like that. But on the beginning, and then I was like, I grew up. I'm Rahiz today, and I'd be like, wow. Every time I see television, it's black or white. Why does the television went firstly for black and white and then to colors? We always saw colors. The guy that invented television firstly made it black and white. Brothers, please, I'm just giving, I'm just expressing myself. The television black and white is because they didn't get it. They didn't had colors. They didn't know how to give it colors, or it's programming. Because now I'm grown, and I see literally the world has a problem of black and white. It's like they gave you a preset that if it's not right, is wrong. If it's not black, it's white. If it's not high, is low. If it's not left, is right. See, in the politics, the right fighting against the left. Okay? And there's where we are. So they say that normally the parties of the people are on the left, isn't it? And then the far right is the nationalists and all that stuff. And I'd be like, yo, and today you go to the television, you don't see Chinese. Where I'm from right now, I don't see Chinese on the television.
Good one.
I don't see they talking about Indians from India. I don't see they talking about Russian people. I don't see about they talking about Scandinavia. I don't see about they talking about the bear in the polar. I don't see them talking about nothing that is not black and white. Phat, are you following me, bro?
Phat.
Huh? Are you following me,
I
bro?
get you, man.
There is no other people
Man, this is
than
real.
black and white.
Dualism.
So binarity, okay?
Dualism,
And then they
duality, yeah.
binary systems. So they said, Rahiz, you cannot sing hip hop and sing kizomba and at the same time do reggae and at the same time do raga and at the same time do other songs and at the same time be a producer and be a writer. No, you cannot do that. It's not possible. So it's not possible because one cannot do it, or it's not possible because it's outside of the programming. You only can be or left or right. You can only do one thing. So now we are in the future that someone does everything. You can be the producer, the composer, you can direct. So Phat, when you see all the colors, I see all the people, and I see all the possibilities. And we're living in the world without possibilities, and they program you to not see the possibilities because something is white or black. It cannot be other color. If you are on the other side of the spectrum of the colors that they gave you, you are not fit to live in society. Okay, Phat. Why do you think we are in a black and white world?
Man, as my brothers know right now, when you talk about the red and blue, as Taalib probably know, I'm sure he knows, and my elder there, Joseph Brown knows as well. That start with us. Upper Egypt, isn't it? And Lower Egypt. One was red, another one was blue. This is the history recorded. That's where it started, and then the both combined. You know what I mean? But seems like whoever learned the secret societies and all that, learn all these secrets, understand and understood they need to keep us divided. But our ancestors did connect each other, but they already had this duality and this division between them. But they end up connecting each other. But now, like you said, the world is between them two colors, black and white. They understand the division, G. So again, capitalism again, divide and conquer. We always gonna go back to the to the beginning, man. If you want to get out of it, you're always gonna end up getting trapped on it. The capitalism, the racism, the divide and conquer. It's so hard. It's like I said, sometimes it's so hard to try to explain, to come with a conclusion or some resolution, because at the end of the day, all these things is illogical. You understand what I'm saying? It's not natural. It's something that they designed, but you try to flip inside of the code, inside of their head, try to decode that. But the algorithm is so strange. It goes different ways. You try, when you nearly see the light at the tunnel, at the end of the tunnel, it goes left. Every time you try to catch right. That's why we still fighting and strive to try to see the light, but we can't, man, because we didn't design this. Exactly like our Taalib said. And the first thing is the language. We trap on this damn language. It's spells. This is all this is spells, and that's why they keep using us. We're the only ones that apparently looks like we get trapped in these spells. Like you said, Chinese don't get into this, Japanese or any kind of race. It's between us and them. Since they understood our secret, our so-called how you call the secret sciences and everything was Asian that was ours, isn't it? Since then, they completely erased our mind, and now it feels like we don't live without them now. We always depend on them to come and tell us how to live, how to feel, how to eat. It's in everything, D. It's so hard to go in and try to decode this black and white thing, bro.
Yeah, but it's beautiful.
Do you understand what I'm saying? Like,
Yeah.
it start with us. This division start with us.
Yes.
The red and blue.
Okay.
And then all of a sudden we end up getting together, and then they
Now,
learn from that.
now you said what I was expecting you to go
Yeah.
there. So if it started with us, JB, because started with us. If we all come from Africa, and it's not debatable. Humanity comes from Africa. So if it all started with us, and then we united, and now we are divided again, JB. Sometimes I think that we are all. It's not think. I'm saying think because I don't want to lose followers, because I have good intentions. Just please, followers, please understand what I'm trying to make us go through. I want us to reflect, because the main thing, Taalib, our guest from the other side of the Atlantic, I think the only thing that we didn't do yet, Taalib, it's thinking. That's what I'm the only thing that we didn't try yet in this new reality is the thing. But JB, ain't we all the same people? Because if it took nature to divide all the place, the only continent being us, stuck in the same place that it always was. If Africa was the place that nature, universe, and the creator gave all the resources to feed the people, to everything is in Africa. Sometimes I lose black people when I say this. It's not in our watch and responsibility, okay, to fix what is wrong in the world. Because sometimes I think that we don't give us credit enough to understand you African, you blessed. You blessed not because you living in a blessed condition, but you coming from a blessed past, a blessed history, a blessed beginning, and you were blessed, genetically blessed. And the creator didn't give you just genetics and we be all this beautiful and different shapes and colors and stuff, because they said to us that black people only can be dark. That's lies. And we only can have noses because if you have a nose more, it's Europeans in your blood. That's not it. That's lies. So when I be translating, because I try to decode everything so I can understand. I try to break it and then build it. That's what I'm trying to do. Even when you say, and Taalib, you say the language, it's a problem. Sometimes I feel like language is
big time.
but it's ours.
I want to.
It's ours. So JB, yeah, I'm forming
That's JB. The speciality there. That's JB.
Yeah,
Go ahead.
I want to.
If
I
we
know you got
invented
some
language,
deep coming on.
if we invented language and we invented everything, and everything comes from us, the place that we are today, we have a responsibility to take us from that place, not just for us, for humanity. JB, I've been saying that black people have to save humanity, and a lot of scholars don't understand what I say because they say, no, white people has this in this way. And I'll be like, yeah, I understand. But it's our responsibility to save not only the black race, because the black race is the fathers of humanity. Can you expand me on that? Am I wrong when I say white people are our kids it's doing wrong things, and we are in an abusive relation of kids trying to bully parents, and we have to put them on their place, not by doing them the same, but by teaching them the way. Can you expand on that, bro?
I have an analogy, and it's slippery. It's slippery because it's damaged, you know. But here we go. Forgive me, but listen, don't judge.
Yeah.
Don't have a preconceived notion, right? Here we go. We were in a real nigger state. We were Adam. Okay, so here's the slippery part. I'm going to speak about the Bible, right? So we were in an Adam state. It was not one man, one woman. We were in an Adam state. And there was the tree in this garden, right? And the tree is the tree of good and bad, right? Red and blue.
Yes.
Right? So we're
now
in a red and blue stage because we slipped from the quote-unquote real nigger stage to the quote-unquote bitch nigger state. And this has nothing to do with sex.
Yeah.
This has nothing to do with a man and a woman.
Yeah.
We were in an Adam frequency. God consciousness. My consciousness presents everything to me. So yes, God is presenting you three to me. God is presenting me the chat room, which is sometimes it's funny. You know, so my consciousness is presenting that to me, and I should not judge. I should not divide into red and blue. I should take everything, give it a name. So, excuse me, study it and give it a name. When you give something a name, it starts to quote unquote live in your consciousness, right? Without judging. So without eating from the fruits of good and bad. We are now in the state of quote unquote bitch nigger. I'm not going to use the name used in the Bible because then you
it just to paint a picture. Just to paint a picture.
Exactly. So we're now in the stage of we think we can eat from the tree of good and bad. So we think we can advance by judging. And that's what I wanted to say. And also, you know, there's when a long time ago, there was this image that came to my consciousness. My consciousness, God, presented this image. Nowadays they call it a meme. And this image said, "Name, I need you. Name, I need you." What we, Adam, right, the original man, what we, Adam, should start doing is giving things a name. Like Taalib said, we're not speaking our African language. We're speaking Portuguese, Dutch. I'm sorry, English. You know, and in these languages, a language is a reality. Concept.
Yeah.
And that's a quote I got from Dr. Phil Valentine L. He's my teacher.
He's one of it's mine too. It's ours too.
We switched something. Switched something on. You know, I found the switch thanks to him. And language is a reality construct, and we're living in languages where they say, and it's in all these languages, English, Portuguese, Dutch. Yeah. When they say today was a black day, it was a bad day. Yeah. And I sometimes in on social media or in conversation, I try to mock it. I say black as my grandmother, then it was a good day.
Yeah. Yeah.
So name I need you.
Talib. Expand on that.
That's nothing to follow. Like that's when that's just like it's nothing to follow from that. Like he not only dropped the mic, he picked it up and threw it. How can I catch? I can't. I'm not that fast. So
Talib. So it's on us to solve this for all of us. We have to start naming things, defining things. We have to create a different system.
A new paradigm.
There is people, Talib, that wants to change the world so they can be included on what already exists. So you think that you can enter capitalism and change the world? You're wrong. Because capitalism is not a system that you can go in. It's a reality. And once you convert yourself to accept it, it's like it takes your soul. Now I understand how people would say to me, you are so talented. Why don't you sign? And I was always like, because every time I'm speaking with someone that wants to sign me, they want to be my bosses. And they don't understand what I'm trying to express, to say. They don't know where I come from, and they don't respect what is the goal that I have with me being an artist, and how do I want to use this that is not mine, it's ours. So when I see us around white supremacy all the time, racism all the time, because it is some challenges that we have, okay? It's like we say enemy. An elder of mine said there is no enemy to a God, because God created everything.
Everything, basically.
So if we are an extension of God, okay, if we are the extension of God, it's evolving while we are evolving. It's not only humans that needs to evolve. Nature needs humans to evolve, so nature can evolve, so the universe can evolve, so the conscience of the creator can evolve. Wait a second. I spoke so much truth right now that the computer said, brother, you crazy.
It's about to go down. Shut down.
So,
Talib,
you my brother. I love you. And when I say I love my brothers and my sisters, sometimes I don't know if they understand that I don't love you consciously. I love you because I feel you. Right. And when I think about you, I feel something. I feel something when I think that Taalib is feeling good right now. When I think that JB is feeling good right now. When Phat is feeling good. How are you? I'm good. I'm feeling it. And I feel good because you feel good. And I'm not just giving conversation just to give, because I don't care. I'm saying because I'm used to speak my truth. That is what my mother always told me. Just do you, kid. My mom said to someone, my kids, they are not mine. And someone was like, yo, and today I hear people saying it, and I'd be like, yo, my mom has been saying this since the beginning. So now I understand what my mom was saying, that I came through her, but I don't belong to her. We all belong to one, and we are one, even if we are divided. So if God evolves by everything he created and the experience of what he created, if we are the first ones, we are right now in a lesson. Racism, for me, it's a challenge. White supremacy, for me, it's a challenge. Maybe black people don't want to listen to what I'm saying, but I just want to propose a different way of seeing things. It's not because I think that I'm right. It's because I'm feeling that this is what I have to say. Maybe white supremacy, it's a challenge for us to overcome, because we knew already a golden era. Is there a diamond era for us black people? Because if we had all those things that we created, if we taught everybody about everything, where is the limit? I know there is no limit, because the universe expands and expands and expands and expands. And once you reach a level of consciousness that you didn't, that you still don't have the teachings to go to another place, okay, Taalib, this one is going to be for you. And what I think, it's, we were kings and queens on earth. Yes, we were. We taught everybody everything. But what did we did wrong? That we were conquered if we were all that. Because you cannot tell me that we were all that. And today, when I see myself in Europe and I see the European, I'll be like, brother, I do 100 push-ups and I'ma fuck your face up. I'm a black, bro, you crazy? One of us, on our natural states, we are like gods. Genetically, you run faster, you think better, you are healthier. So I cannot conceive that Europe went to Africa, we on our, highest form of manifestation, and they conquered us. How can someone that you teach to take a bath, to speak, to eat with, to clean themselves, to astronomy, how do they one day conquer you? Black people have to explain my spirit, not my mind, my spirit, how to feel inferior, because I don't know how to.
Curiosity killed the cat.
Yeah, Taalib, I don't know how to feel inferior. I don't know. My spirit doesn't understand.
Became corrupt, man.
Yeah, my spirit doesn't understand the teachings that European invaded Africa and conquered us, and we are in this state that we are because of someone that we gave birth. So what I have to add is, if we are black people, as we say we are, and spirituality is our mind, is our mind setup. So there is teachings on everything, everywhere, in every place. What I think, Taalib, it's that we are right now in a teachable moment that is already a few centuries. Okay, so if you're following me, brother, if we are made in God's image and we were put in Africa, Africa was made by the Creator to feed the world, as Africans was made by the Creator to teach the world, to teach the other human beings. How did we reach to this place that we say that white people have power over us? When they say white people have power over us, what does your mind think? What is this power that they have that we don't have?
So I'm glad you said that.
Yeah.
There's a book.
Uh-oh.
Cultural Genocide in the Black and African Studies Curriculum by Dr. Ben. Yes, Ben Yakinen, right? So,
Ben Yakinen, yeah.
As you were stating all those facts and truths, it came to me that you have to allow yourself to be subjected to that particular condition in order for that to occur. Because think about it, if you are in the God type of essence and you are reduced now to infidels and servitude, how does that occur? Like, how does that happen? Because if you were in a boxing match, that wouldn't have, like, you would clearly, the advantage would go to the God essence, and not the person that is so far inferior of that. So I think what has happened over the years is you've had, some aspects of us losing inherent control of ourselves. Let's look at the 42 laws of Ma'at, for instance, right? So if we're obeying and we are going through the laws of Ma'at, then we should essentially live in a perfect society, to be real. So if you have issues with that and you are battling with adhering to it, so say the discipline of it, then slowly but surely you can see that God type of status fade away, because you're no longer being true to yourself and you're no longer being at your highest height, because you think that there may be some room that you can slip a little bit and go back. So I liken it to any successful sports team, be it football or basketball or anything else, where you have that turn it on and off the light switch. You plan, you're going about the game, and you're like, all right, I can lollygag a little bit because these cats ain't about to do nothing. Like, we about to destroy them anyway. I can turn it on just like that. And what happens is when you've done that for so long, you start to get comfortable in that position, and then you start to take for granted the aspect of who have been watching you, who have been studying you, who have been learning from you. And now, though they don't know everything that you know, they know all of what you taught them, but now they start to pick up on your cadence. I know, you dribble the ball with your left hand. I know, that your strike foot might be the right foot. I'm picking up on that. I'm seeing how, your moves and how you sway. And that's exactly what has happened. So now that I've caught up with you, because you've allowed yourself to be reduced like that, because you weren't on your P's and Q's all the time. Now, let me easily, swoon you into believing that you're okay. So I'm gonna say, all right, well, let's do an exchange real quick, because now I see that you're on my level a bit. I have something that you don't. Let me convince you that I have something that you don't, and that you desire and that you want. So now that you get this and you obtain this, it's like, all right, cool, now I got you. Because now you're addicted to it. It becomes like a drug. You're like hooked on it, right? And then you start the process of the division and conquer. So now, all right, well, let me just give this to Brother JB and leave y'all two out. And tell Brother JB, like, yo, you know what your essence is, right? You know you are a God, right? Okay, those other two, they ain't on your level. Like, and you know that because how you talk to them, Look at the wisdom that you have, the age that you have, all this stuff. Why you need to talk to these clowns? They too young for you. And then your ego starts to kick in. It's like, you know what? I think you're right. I have noticed how they've been talking. Oh, okay. And now I'm on this side of the screen telling y'all, he only got a couple more years to live. Why y'all messing with this man? Like, come on. Like, you know that next to be on the throne. You know what I'm saying? Y'all are next in line. Let's get rid of him.
Yeah.
Let's expedite the process. Don't you want to reign supreme? All right, let's go. And then that process, and that is the continue. That's continue. There's a continuation of that. Now you find us in a position where we are now. And then when you do that divide and conquer tactic, and you intentionally cut away at the culture and the base and the root of foundation that will connect all four of us, and literally say, okay, you're there, you're there, you're there, you're there. You have no ties to anybody. You are your own self. You are your own individual. So you need to be able to do what suits you and forget the fact that they're not eating, that they need housing and stuff like that. That's when you have been completely removed from your God essence, because the God essence is a collectivism. The God essence is telling you that I am you, Ubuntu, I am we, right? So in order for us to move that way, we have to be attached to it. But now we've been so removed from it. If it slapped you in the face today or sat right beside you, you wouldn't know what it was.
Exactly, man. Wow.
Yes, man.
Wow.
When we're in a court, you and I verse.
Oh my God.
Oh my gosh. Phat.
The sister Dima Mahmoud said something that I
Break it down,
subscribe.
man.
It's not they divide. It's not divide and conquer as we always think that they divided and they conquered. No one can divide you. I can try to make yourself divide from the others. So that's why I'm saying that normally they didn't have the power to do us nothing. We did it. And I think that's a lesson that we have to teach kids, that we once divided ourselves by being influenced,
yes,
by our egos.
Let me go back to that book. Let me go back to that book. We had an ear for a split tongue, and that's where it began. That's where we started to slip off to eating from judgment.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Exactly.
Yeah,
Because
exactly.
I think sometimes, guys, not sometimes, most of the times, we Black people as a whole, we give too much power to someone that doesn't have
Credit
the
to
power
somebody
if
else.
we don't give
Exactly.
them the power.
We keep doing the same thing, man.
Have you noticed we became argumentative, just like well, the quote unquote bitch nigga state? Yeah, but we can eat from the tree and blah 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 blah.
And nobody listens. We don't have people. Yeah, you have someone that can teach you something, but it's on your DNA to not hear it, because we still and bro, hey brothers, I'm the vibe today. The things that are coming, I cannot, brothers, I can't explain.
Yeah, me too, man. I'm sweating. Can't you see?
I had a vision. I had a vision right now. Right now, because I see the future very clear. But I understand that if we don't access to our higher consciousness, we will be moved to do it on a more harsh way. You understand what I'm saying, people? It's like, I know that we have to go to a place, but you can go there by your own will, or the creator is gonna do something for all of us go to where you didn't want to go. That's why I think that we have to have right now not a consciousness revolution, but a spiritual one, because we are talking too much and feeling not that much. We don't talk what we feel. Okay, we think we know, because we read, because we heard, because the television told us, because the medicine said to me that I have to take 2 pills, drink one, a half of a cup of water, and do blah blah blah. So we've been doing this. We are not listening to ourselves. We're not diving.
Yes.
It's like we know more about the space than we know about the sea,
about the space
the ends
inside
of
of
the
us.
sea.
What about that?
So that explains to me that I know more about Taalib, JB, and Phat than I know about myself, because the deep side of myself is the sea. But I'm always looking to the stars, waiting for a solution. Oh, I want to go to Mars. No, you never went to the deepest sea of yourself. So when I see our people being killed by the police, I be like, brother, if you dive deep, that bullet will never, ever, 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 because we're living in a world of energy, frequency, and vibration. And we have to teach these to kids. And the way you carry yourself, but we have to understand, you it doesn't mean you person, you as a people, because you belong to a structure. And what is power? There is power in numbers. Why do we have a lot? Why are we fertile? Can anybody explain to me why do we say black men like to do this and that? How would humanity be all these numbers if we were not fertile, if we were not the creators? And then we invented the word sex, and we perverted all the meaning of creation. And we are living in a reality that they appeal to our instincts, and we be all this fornication way of living that we have. And we translate this on their reality. They gave us the word. So you like to sex, you like to, you, because they said that there is the concept of what you're doing is that. They didn't explain to you that you don't know why you do that. And you don't, right now, you don't own your emotions. That's why you do things that you do. So they have your attention. They have your mind. They said to you, who are you? And you don't have no access to the deepest of your sea because you're looking to the stars. So, Phat,
yo,
can you give me your perspective of what is your perspective? I have to say this perspective because there is no like solution to all. Okay. What is the first step that you would take if you had the power to change everything? What is the first step would you take if you had the power to change this reality that we're living in? What would be your first step?
Gosh.
Imagine you the king. But imagine you the king. You're the king of the empire. Your people is going through what we are going through. Okay? Analyzing everything as I know you did, what would be the first step to resolve the situation of the black man in the world right now?
Bro, you trapped me with this one, man.
No, I didn't trap you.
I don't know. No, I know, but there's a lot. There's a lot.
No, I need one. I need one. The first one.
I think we need to build in within, man, is in ourselves. You know what I mean? So basically, I'm talking about education. At the end of the day, yeah, I think this is the base. Again, if they build a pillar with racism, we can build ours with education. That's the beginning. We can start with it. To step up and how can I say? To be a challenge? No, we don't want to challenge nobody. Like you said, in the image of God, or who can you challenge? You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Nobody. So you remember that punchline that Jay-Z gave, innit? He said, "No society, no. How he put it? He said, no society or no community or something like that can be destroyed.
Yeah.
Unless it be destroyed between with him. You know what I mean? This is exactly what happened between us, man. You know what I mean?
Education.
Yeah, it was education. We just fall down so badly. Then was completely. We lost our mind. Basically, we lost our memory. And now we need to, exactly. Now to rebuild it all is education, but we don't have too many people that again, we don't have. Everybody can do this. We need to mention this all the time. Like, not everybody can be on this state of mind and be creative and step up as a. I don't like to use this word leader or king but it needs to be a group of people that can really captivate minds, especially build up with children, because adults, when you develop a conscience, it's going to be hard to break that up. And we can see an example. That's why we like to work with the youngest ones. It's easier to go into their mind and spirit, build up. But when it comes to adults, it's almost impossible right now. But for me, the first step always going to be education. Right now, the way the world is, you can isolate yourself. You know what I mean? You can use the same tactics they use, because that's again divide and conquer. So what the best option for me right now, it has to be education, King.
Education.
And start building between us. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Try to
I'm
bring
with you.
our memory, try to build our memory back.
Yes.
You know, piece by piece.
Yeah.
And design our own algorithm, design our own
Yeah.
code, design our own everything. And then sell us with propaganda.
Yeah.
My man JB knows what I'm talking about.
Yeah.
Selling us. But
Someone
for me, the first thing is education, and then in between education, then you need to build all these factors like media. It's the same. We need to do the same thing, but reverted 360.
Yeah.
Because for me, everything was reverted 360, isn't it?
Yeah.
When they say the right today, they say, even like I give an example, like me riding with the left hand, I get my ass whooped because of that. But back in the days, the left side was the good side. Remember we step with the left foot so you can crush the evil. But nowadays, everything is the right side. You know what I mean? So basically, we need to create a paradigm that twists 360 on everything, because we function on the wrong way, and then it starts with education.
Break it down.
That's it.
You know, we speak the living word, right? And in Taalib, his version of the living word, Ebonics, we break it down. And
exactly.
it's in this case, it's literally and figuratively. We have to break it down. Lately, there's this talk about reparation, and people talk about money. No, man.
No, it's not the same thing. Exactly.
Once we reach the accord, we are in harmony. you hear what I'm saying? We harm money, and actually, both of you, I think both of you said it. You know, Rahiz said it in his question, and you said it in the start. You know, we need to listen to we need to listen to ourselves. How does God grow? You know, and how does Almighty grow? He cuts a piece off of itself, he attacks it, and then with that experience, that little piece, he absorbs it again, right? That's us. You know, we are made in the image of the universe. The largest star in the sky is the black one, right? Close your eyes. Close your eyes.
Yeah.
That's who you are. That's your eye, right? And it's as large as the largest star in the sky. It's infinite. So at this moment, it's being attacked by everything, by this conversation, by the belt of my father, by the web. And when I die, I join again. I join with the Almighty again. You know, with the universe. And that's how the Almighty grows. And what slips from our minds leaves by our mouths, right? When we start to listen, we take those words in again. That's how we grow, is my belief.
Okay.
What do you think about that?
Brilliant.
Taalib, you working as an organizer and in the community. Of course, we've been talking about it. You know that education is very, very, very important. Right? So if you were the minister of education, okay, imagine we are one country and our people is right now in this situation that we are. If you were the minister of education, what would be the first step?
Minister of Education. Well, anytime I talk, I always have to have books for references and stuff. But, one of my heroes is this man, Thomas.
Okay, Thomas.
So one of the things that he did that I would implement, which also goes along the lines of what happened in ancient Kemet, just about having on the door frames of the universities to know thyself is to know God, would be to start with the youth, because you can, like Phat said, you can plant that seed, watch it grow, and you start at such a young age to where it's like, I think is it the Catholic Church that would say, give me your children from 0 to 7 years old, and I come back to you. So if we are able to get them at that age and really cultivate them into a knowledge of self and understanding as to who they are, then it would help with generations after that, like several generations after that. But there is no education, there is no liberation without education. So what will happen is, if we don't have it, and we don't cultivate the youth, you could get rid of this system completely. But how are you going to run it?
Yeah.
What knowledge can you pull from to show that it won't be just a different face of oppression or a different face of not understanding who you are? So one of the things that I would do, if I was so fortunate to get into that position, would be to definitely work on the youth and devising or creating a curriculum, if you want to call it that, that would continue to focus in on knowledge of self, teaching that you were not teaching you not teaching in the negative, but teaching in the positive. Not even do not. You are. Word affirmation. You are the God essence. You are able to invent all these things. You are all of which you need. Everything that you have is made within you. All it has to do is be extracted out, which is the root word for it, is to bring out what it has been within. You know what I'm saying? So as us as a people, that would be the thing that I would focus on, is the knowledge of self and the youth, because that will be able to guide us to the next past centuries. Like you work on that and then you good.
JB.
In a sidebar before JB. Can you hear me?
Yeah, of course.
What? Yeah. Well. See, when you look at the continent, what kind of education they have over there? I think that's it.
Yeah.
I think I said it all, isn't it? What kind of curriculum every single country have over there?
Yes.
That's it.
And that
like my brother Taalib said, when you start from the young one, that's done, man. But they still have the same curriculum they had since colonial times, When the kid grew up, what are you gonna do? You just want to get out of there. You know what I mean? Like 2 days ago, they post something on Portuguese newspaper, about immigrants always try to come to Europe, and then some lady posted and said, "Why the hell these immigrants always try to come to Europe?" And then I answered down. I think they deleted my post. I said, "You went to Africa and sell the image of Jesus, right? That's why they want to come to Europe, to try to see who Jesus is."
Yeah.
It's as simple as that.
Simple as that.
You went there to try to sell Jesus. Now they want to come to Europe to touch Jesus itself.
Yeah, it pains me, you go to the continent and you find people doing unbelievable things. I used to use this slogan, building skyscrapers with a stick and a stone. And you will find mechanics fixing cars with a stick and a stone.
Yeah.
And that's the wrong example, but you find people making furniture, right, with a stick and a stone. And then you think, hey, I can sell that in Europe or the United States. I can sell that in the West because it's handmade woodwork, etc. And you say, hey, can we partner? You make it, and I'll sell it. And people just lay down their tools and wait for you because you're coming from the West and you know better.
Yeah.
No, you'll find people, almost magicians, with a stick and a stone, but they are looking for a job.
Yeah.
That's it.
Indeed.
That's
it. Punch.
It pains.
Yes. Brothers, I love you guys. And you, JB, you made me see a picture right now. literally
That's
a picture.
deep thing you just
What
said.
I was
Yeah.
seeing about, I think it's Sumerians, Suméria, é assim que chamava-se aquele povo.
Mhm.
In English, I think it's the Sumerians,
Yeah,
I guess.
Well,
I don't know
what
if
today is Iraq, isn't
if
it?
yeah, if it's in English. Okay.
Okay.
So, people,
Sumeria.
all this job, Taalib,
Mhm.
the concept of working and be paid for your work,
Mhm.
it didn't exist since the day one. I don't conceive a world where since the day one you receive money. There is a lot of people, and that's why education is very important, that doesn't know that money is not here since the beginning of the world. Money as we know it, it doesn't exist since the beginning of the world. You used to work in exchange, and it's not like work, it's collaborate. It's like, I do this, you give me this that I need, and etc.
Right.
Trade.
So we changed it to, you work, I give you something, and with that you go buy your food.
Yeah.
So people, I would work, someone would work the land, I would be a mason, you would be a farmer, I would work on building stuff, you would give me in foods or in other things that I needed. So we would exchange. It's like equity. You have something, I have something, we change because I need this, you need that. And education, it's very important because I know that if you don't hear this that I'm saying enough, you will think that the only way for us to live is to work for someone on exchange of money, so that money can give me food and shelter and etc. So nature gave us everything. The concept that we're living right now, it's not nature that gives you. Someone gives you something that has a value, and you go and exchange that something for something that you need. Okay? So, JB, is there a spell on what money is?
I have a concept, and it's Dutch based, but I hope you can follow me. So originally there was the Duke, the farmer, and his laborers, right? But his laborers were all specialists. So the Duke annex the manager, he always made sure that the dikes were there, so that the farmer could work the land. And the farmer needs someone to make the cart, someone to make the tools to work the land, and they were all specialists in what they did, right? And then came the industrialized era. So you had the royals, right? The manager that made sure that the dikes were working intact. He made it possible that the land was worked, and then you had the citizens, right? In the industrial era, a new member came to existence, and I used to call it the super citizen. So it's the guy that made the cars, right, for the farmer to transport. He made the cars for the farmer to transport whatever the farmer cultivated, right? But now he in the industrialized era, he started to make cars for a lot of people, and he became rich. So he superseded the manager, the original manager that made sure that everybody had something to do.
Yeah.
Right? And that's where consumerism started. because other citizens became extensions of his machines, and he paid them so that they could buy food, where they normally were part of the ecosystem. And that's a Dutch example, because a great part of the Netherlands is is under the sea level.
Yeah.
So you need dikes to expose the land and work the land, right? I don't know how it. I can't translate this model to other regions, but it's probably also the manager, the farmer, and his. I don't want to use employees. His specialists.
Specialists.
So it's the mass production that killed the original ecosystem.
Okay.
What do you is that something?
Yeah. No, I'm following, brother. You guys are giving me the segues to the next questions. Always, this was already designed. The creator made this conversation to happen today, because we cannot talk about racism without talking about education, economics, and all the stuff, because everything is intermingled. Or how does our guy says in the US? Fed. Why do I sometimes Why do I sometimes think that we are on a spell, and because of money, we don't get out? Because why do I think that money is the biggest problem right now? Because as a people, we are being systematically oppressed for centuries now. You would think that a people that love themselves would get out of that situation centuries ago. Then we know that there is a system that made so many things on a spiritual level, on a structural level, mental level. They did all this. They built all this machine that got us trapped inside of us. We are trapped in a machine, and then we are trapped inside of us, trapped. We are on we in the sunken place, like they said that Kanye West is.
Right. Right.
Like me as an artist, just to add, me as an artist, I always saw that as an artist, we have the power to educate the people. But other artists are thinking about the money before what they can be and what they can represent for others. That's the sad truth.
Yeah,
We artists, we have the power to educate masses. Brother, you need only the 5-6 biggest artists in the world to wake up right now. Just to wake up. Probably they would be killed on the second album and a second digressão. How do I say digressão, brother?
Second tour.
The way that I see it, 5 Bob Marleys in the world would put everything in place. It's what I think. People may say I'm crazy, but yes, I'm crazy.
Yeah,
you had one, and he did what he did. So we're talking about education and economics, because an artist can educate, and an artist is someone that, when we're talking about industry, we make money. Now, it's not a reality for everybody, but you guys understand what I'm saying. So, if the responsibility of someone that is from a people, when he is famous and popular, is to represent that people and that culture, okay? So his responsibility, it's a blessing too for his people, because he can be a loudspeaker of the minds and the culture of that people, okay? So where will I insert money of it? Bro, why do I think? I don't think I know, but I'm just putting on in perspective that our artists, and we always imagine singers and actors, but I'm saying all of them, painters, you know, people in the fashion industry, all these mainstream professions that they use to trick us. Okay, because this is the, I'm telling you, artists, singers, actors, all these people are being used massively.
Yeah, we know that.
May I cut in here and point the finger at you two, Arafat and Rahiz? You two, I love your what you do, what you produce, and you both of you are good MCs.
Salute.
Don't you make aren't you the makers of sound bites like an AK? You both throw out sound bites like rah.
Ease. And with that said, JB, with that said, Phat,
what?
Money is between the message of the ones that has the voice, that the creator gave the talent to be the loudspeakers of everything. Money is in the middle, okay?
Yeah.
And you know it, I know it, everybody knows here. So, to educate our youth, they are using entertainers.
Yeah.
It's not teachers that are educating our kids. No.
Yeah.
It's the main figure in the television.
Indeed.
Okay? So there is money attached. So we receive money to keep the machine working and protect the power. Artists are being used. We cannot say no. And the more we deny it, okay, the more difficult will be for us to understand what is the design of all of this. That's why entertainers are so important, and that's why they are not so important because it's a very, very complex design, bro. If we have to educate the youth, as Taalib said, and we know that they are using media and entertainment to educate our children's, what is that we can do to try to balance and to present, okay? If entertainers are being used to do that, as we know, how do you see that is, on your perspective, what would be a counterbalance of what they do, what they're doing, they're using?
Yeah. Well, actually, to be honest with you, I don't have too much to put on this because without them you don't exist. Just for the start.
Okay.
Without them you don't exist. You understand what I'm saying?
Who's them?
And the next stage is
who's them?
Without them, the distractors there. The distractors that you just mentioned, the industry fellas. If they exist, you can't. If they exist, like you can't exist without them, innit? Because you are the opposite. It's the good and evil. It's the good and evil talk. It's the red and blue talk again. Do you understand what I'm saying? This is all based on the science. You know what I mean? They exist, so you can exist as well. But the main thing is the machine is bigger than yours. The machine is bigger than yours. But we have that's what they think. Sorry, that's what they project to the public. The machine is bigger than yours, but it's not. Because we are here and everybody's kind of under a spell. Because slowly people are kind of waking up. And thankfully for them, like you said, they get paid to do what they do. And you're natural like this, you exist. And slowly, gradually, you start growing up and building up. So you are the person you are thanks to them. And another point I want to make, like Dr. Phil Valentine keeps saying all the time, no everybody have a soul, and I believe on that. You know what I mean? There's a lot of guys out here soulless, bro. You know what I mean? Even you came even this is what they're supposed to do. This is what they're supposed to do as
Yeah.
in this universe.
Yeah,
You know,
it's
in
the
the
balance.
positive and negative, it's a balance thing.
Balance.
And then just to finish, because I'm gonna pass to Taalib, he knows better than me because he lives in America. The other thing is the most powerful currency was the dollar, isn't it? It's not anymore. But the most powerful currency was the dollar, isn't it? Now, when you catch a dollar bill, yeah, what do you have it on it? Taalib know what I'm talking about. Well, you got the pyramid, you got the symbols. I'm gonna go back. I'm gonna go back again. Who started this again? Started this, B? Was us.
Yeah, it was us.
Was us again.
So it's back to us.
It's back. Thank you. Look.
It is.
Bingo. Thank you.
Yeah.
Look at the symbols at the note. Yeah. You keep saying that now the money pay them, blah, 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 because they're using it against us. This is ours, bro. They're using it against us. And a pastor Taalib can build better than me. But it's simple as it is. Negative, positive. Without them, you don't exist.
Yeah.
But this is ours. You know what I mean? And only some special people like you or every member in this panel here can bring this back again. But this is ours, bro. We started this. Taalib, go build on this.
Taalib,
Bro. I know you got something.
I have a question for Taalib. Why do they use? Why, on your perspective, why? On your perspective, now I'm telling you my perspective. So it's a question for you. Why do they use entertainers like they use? Why do they use black entertainers like they use?
Well, I mean, because of the influence that they have, but also we are a spiritual people, a people of
there you go.
A people of rhythm. Everything in which we do just has some type of rhythmic flow to it. Even the way in which we talk, you know, it's a think about the great orators of our times. You know, it has always been that cadence that they have that kind of just wraps you in and takes you in. You know what I'm saying? You both as artists know, like the way you flow, you know, it is something about that really just captures us. And I think that with entertainers, it's easy to use entertainers as leaders, if you want to call them that, to influence the masses because it's something that alleviates the pain. It's much like I think about it like alcohol, right?
It's like a drug, yeah.
Yeah, it's like a drug. You call it any other type of drug where you use entertainers to know. It's kind of like lull you to sleep and to numb the pain, but not eradicate what's going on, unless you have artists such as yourself and Phat that's on here that actually speak to those issues. Because I'll be $150 with you. I had no idea who Emil Cocker until you dropped the I in me. Which happens to be case word, you know. But until you dropped that and you mentioned him, and I'm like, Emil Cocker, bro. And then now I literally have. Hold on, let me show you. I literally have his in my office hanging up. So it's like, you know, that is the reason why entertainers would be good, you know, if they actually have the message behind it. But most times what happens is that you take people who are politically uneducated and even socially uneducated and come from situations where, you know, they weren't taught how to lead, or they weren't taught about a knowledge of self. So they get into these positions and you expect them to be the Emil Cocker Brawls and the Kwame and Nkrumahs and stuff like that. And that's false for you, or it's a fallacy because they weren't cultivated like that. You know, think about the athletes, and we just had if you want to call it a day strike in the NBA.
Yeah.
You know? So like we're expecting these people to be Muhammad Ali. We're expecting these people to be oh my God, it escapes me. Kareem Abdul-Jabbar. And you know, some of these great leaders who were also happen to be, you know, athletes when they weren't cultivated that way. You know what I'm saying? Like, who was there to teach them and give them that that education, who was able to kind of cultivate them in that with that consciousness. They weren't. And it reminds me of something that Frantz Fanon said in what book was that? The Wretched of the Earth, when he said that athletes should not be athletes who are politically conscious. Athletes should be politically conscious people who happen to be athletes. And so that whole narrative should be changed. And I think what happens now is they've mastered the art of using entertainers as minstrel shows. So now you get on and you're literally like a jester in the court of the king. So you dance, you sing, you rap, you do whatever it is that you do to entertain not only your those that are paying your bills, but at the same time to numb the pain of what's really going on with your people. And that's the reason as to why you see the Sam Cookes or the Bob Marleys or the even the Rahizes that are essentially isolated from society, or in the other two, the aforementioned two, in some way, shape, or form were like taken out. So cancer was Bob Marley, and then assassination, Sam Cooke. So like you see when you see that, you know what I'm saying? And even Rahiz, maybe you can speak on what you've experienced, because a lot of the family don't know the history of you and Phat as far as being in the group, and then when you branched off on your own, and how you were getting pulled to these different labels, but because you're unapologetic in your stance and what you wanted to do, and you wouldn't essentially sell your soul for a few euros, I guess, if that was that. Then and now you have the platform that you have now, but what you had to go through as an entertainer and as an artist, and how now you're able to use your platform to raise the vibration of those fans and those people who follow you to like, no, this is a Milkaka Brawl. Let me show you and tell you about him and how he's important, just as important as Julius Malema or not Malema, well, yeah, him too, but Julius Nyerere or Steve Biko, or what I'm saying, some of the other great activists, Winnie Mandela, So I think that they know exactly how to get to our soul. And so many times they have taken our souls, but it's incumbent upon us to realize and to know that, we created this, we started this, we organized this, and we are the masters of this. So now we need to use our platforms to be able to enhance our people as a collective, and not just this individualized, I'm gonna get my come up, forget all that. And one last thing I'll say with Young Thug, I never forget an interview he did where somebody asked him when, I forgot who got shot at the time. It might have been Mike Brown, if I'm not mistaken. It might have been Mike.
Yeah, it was Mike Brown, yeah.
Yeah, and then the reporter asked him, like, what do you think about what's going on, all that? He said, F all that, I'm trying to get money.
Man, I mean, to entertain, that's what he said, yeah.
Yeah, so it's like, that right there is a microcosm of a lot of the mentality that permeates through the entertainment industry and that needs to be eradicated.
And the consumers.
Yes.
Exactly. It comes to the consumer. That's true. That's
so
right.
Money. And when you finish with consumers, it's money attached over it again.
Yep.
Yeah.
But when you remember when the other ones that like Muhammad Ali and all the other guys, even Bob Marley, you had an interview when they asked him about money.
Yeah.
The first thing they did they always leave their gains behind. Understand? All of them. Even like Sam Cooke used it, but still it didn't give them that much importance to it. But all these leaders and all that, they always leave their gains behind. It's not as much important, because I don't know, it's because how they raised consciously or something like that. But the first thing they leave behind is their gains. Muhammad Ali was like, belt? I don't need that. Bob Marley, when they asked about money don't mean nothing to me. Everybody had the same. Yeah. Go ahead, GB. Go ahead. Go in.
A word comes to mind: dignity.
Yeah.
Something don't have a price. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
It's simple.
So are we what is the right word? Were we broken on our dignity where they when they broke our spirituality? Is there a connection between between your spiritual self and your dignity? If I'm making sense, because when was that they broke our dignity? Because yes, dignity is something that we have to cultivate amongst us, because it's the only aspect of your character that can make you say no to Satan, as they say. Okay, JB, when did you think that they broke our dignity, or how? If you have an insight, my elder.
When they replaced these two with money.
Okay. Can you elaborate on that, my brother? Can you expand on that?
Creation, realization. When you realize, you can realize with those two, and somewhere in between is where dignity lives. When you believe, when you know, not when you believe, when you know, you are a creator. That money cannot touch you. Money cannot buy you.
I understand that.
I believe somewhere in between there is where dignity lives.
Okay.
I'm not. You're asking the question, and I never.
Yeah. But we following you, brother. Yeah, between it's like on the translation of it when you say in the middle there is like on the translation we lost the communication about thinking and creating with our own hands.
Yes.
And they gave us a different solution. So instead of creating, you buy.
You know, I remember a show that Bill Cosby did about he was sitting in a classroom, and he spoke of the self-image of black children. So there was this psychological test, and they let the children in the classroom draw themselves, and most of the black children, the hands were left out, or the faces were left out. You know, and they probably already lost this thing between realizing and realizing. So the face is gone. So meaning the identity is gone. The me, and with that, the hands are cut off too. So you cannot create anymore.
All right.
Because you create who you are. So JB, you saying to me that there is a relation between identity and what you create?
You said it. You create who you are.
You create
between identity, Taalib. Where we talking about education, we talking about economics. Even if people don't understand that it's what we are talking about. Security. Why are we being killed and recorded? What do you think it's the main issue between a police force and black men?
Well, have we ever truly had a conversation about the origins of the police?
Tell them, brother.
Exactly.
Tell them,
education again.
Of black folks historically with the police. What did they start out as? Even Colin Kaepernick came out and was speaking the truth to power with it, as far as police, the origins of police being as slave catchers. So they were supposed to protect property, right? Protect property.
Yeah.
We were the property, you know, we were the chattel. And that relationship hasn't changed, you know, and you even to modern day, because that's why anytime that somebody can get killed before your eyes, and the first thing that you say is, well, you know, let's let all the facts come out first. Or if it's evident, if a black man or a black woman was walking down the street butterball naked, and she was shot and killed by the cops, they would say that she had a weapon on her.
Yeah.
You know, so it's like we continue to accept these excuses to justify the police brutality and the killing, but at the same time, we refuse to have a true conversation about what it is about the police that has caused this contentious relationship. Because it's not like black folks going out here killing cops. Let's be completely clear.
Yeah,
It is not like black folks that are cops that are in the police force are out here killing white folks like this. Like we don't see that, right? Yeah. But we're not having a full conversation about what the police represent and how they are an extension of the capitalistic state. So if you see it in its hierarchy, police, as it relates to like the top 1%, they're completely on the bottom too. They're above us as the masses of people, but they're still below like the bankers and then some of the other people that control stuff. But so they're agents for the system, but we haven't really acknowledged their role in it outside of us just being upset at the fact that they're killing black folks. But the institutionalized aspect of it, the fact that the police domestically is like an extension of the military internationally, or some of these organizations, NGO, whatever you want to call it, these world organizations that go into other people's countries and do the exact same thing internationally that the police do domestically. There was a case of the NATO, I think it was, and how they went into the Central African Republic and forced these young girls to have sex with dogs. Right? And the French came under fire for it. And it's like, well, why is it that we don't have a structure that's in place to where we don't need them in there? You know what I'm saying? What has happened to our structures that were in place to where that would not occur? But when you talk about the dynamic between black folks and the police, you don't have to just look here in the United States. Clearly, you can talk about it and touch on it. Portugal, back and touch on it in the UK, and Bobby can touch on it. But even let's take Brazil for instance, right? Because I went to Brazil in 2018. In Brazil, here in the United States, I think the average, and it changed since 2014 when the original statistic came out, but it's about every 32 hours or something like that, a black man is shot and killed by the cops. In Brazil, that statistic is about 10 minutes, every 10, 15 minutes.
I had a live with a guy from there, JJ, and he said it's 10 minutes. Every 10 minutes, he said, in our live that we're going to do now, in 1 hour, this amount of black people will die from being killed by the police. And I was like, wow.
And then I think about it like how Kwame Ture once said when he was giving an example about our interconnectivity just as African people around the world. And he said that a brother came to him and was bemoaning about how black folks were being treated here in the States by the police. Like, we just killed by the cops, but we killing ourselves too. And he said, all right, well, where else is this happening? What's happening in Chicago? He said, where else? Miami, where else? DC. He just kept saying, where else? And then eventually he ran out of American cities. So he said, well, what about Azania, South Africa? Or what about in Brazil? Or what about in Australia? If you think of it only in the context, and the police, if you think about the police only in the context of where you're living, then you're going to see them as maybe it's just an exception to the rule of how they work, or like maybe it's just something that's local to here. But then when you start to see, well, shoot, you just sent me a video about them doing this in Portugal. Or I just seen a video about the police doing this in France. Then you start to realize, okay, well, why is this only happening? Well, it seems like majority of the times it happens to black folks. And then that's when you start to add two and two together. But again, we have not had a true conversation about the historical aspect of the police. We even dove into the fact that were there police in existence prior to the colonial state, prior to Europeans coming out of Europe and invading into Africa? Was there any police state? We don't have a conversation about that because we're too busy apologizing for the police. But when we actually have conversations about it and bring it to bear and take our emotions out of it, then we can have academic and intelligent conversations about the origins of it and how it has impacted us on the day-to-day. And also the fact that we are paying for our own killings. All these civil suits that you see, like the police getting sued and their settlements and stuff like that, that's taxpayers' money. We want cases like that. We do pay stuff like that. That is from the taxpayers are paying that. That's not coming out of police pension or coming out of the budget of the police. They're still getting paid, and then we're paying for our own oppression, literally.
Crazy, yeah, crazy.
Bro,
this is deep, man. This is powerful, man.
It's fire, bro. Because I already stopped to think about, it's not only white cops that are doing wrong to black people, it's black cops too. So then you have to understand that it's not a race problem. It's not a direct it's not like police is white and they attack blacks. No, it's the how must say it, because people just try to follow me, you guys that are listening, not the panel. I've been thinking about, can you change something that in its origins was not made to be positive? You cannot, I think that you cannot change capitalism to help humanity. It was not built for that. You cannot adapt it. And it's like when I was young, some people would say, you dumb, you have talent, you could sign. Just play their game. I heard these guys on the panel, Phat knows. I heard these so many times, even from people around me that loves me. You being dumb. You should sign, enter the system, and then change it. But I always felt like you cannot change a dinosaur. You cannot change a dinosaur. He's a predator. You cannot change a T-Rex. He's gonna eat someone. When he's hungry, he will eat you or eat his kid. He will eat someone. So a lot of people would say to me, brother, I know you. Sign, enter into the system, and then change it. And I was like, I don't think that it's possible. And maybe I'm wrong, but I know that a lot of black people think that if you go to politics as it is built, you're gonna change something. I don't believe on that. I believe on we doing our own politics, our own version of that. I believe on us building our own, because if you're still using their structure, is their rules, is their house. So what I think it's there is cops that goes to the force thinking that they're gonna do good. But Taalib, you are our guest. So I will always say, Taalib, listen to this vision that I have. You go inside consciously with your conscience intact because you want to do some positivity in the world. You want to serve the people. But then you go and you swear to an oath that you don't understand what is the origin, who is behind, what is the energy. So we are not being taught that there is a physical world and there is a spiritual world. And everything that we do vibrates. And vibration is what you don't see, you feel. Everything has a frequency. You cannot see it. You know that it exists, or you don't. You can measure it, but you have to know how to do it. Machines can measure frequencies when we're talking about electricity, but human beings can measure frequency. We're there. You can measure that. You have to be taught to do that. So you go to the force to serve, but you don't understand that the origin of the force that you are applying to be a servant, the origin has a wicked and strong, negative and bad energy from the beginning. It was built like this, it will fall like this. It's like capitalism. We think that if we are billionaires, we're gonna change the world. No, the people that gives the more money, it's poor people. The people that acts upon everything that it's happening, helping in the community, and it's poor people. It's poor people that understand what poor people goes through and provides what they can in their poor, economically poor state of mind. Because once you are, I think that there is a bad perception of what is to be rich. Okay, so what is to be poor? When they say you are poor, what they are talking about, what it is that they are talking about. So when one of us go to the police, you go because of the job, and then they pay you. Follow me, follow me. I think that the money that you receive is evil, because the origin of it's to divide and conquer. And I think that the system that you work with on the beginning is wicked too, so it will not work. And everything that the system builds, it's on a spell and on an energy, on those papers that you sign. Okay, it's not just pen, it's not just ink. I think that when you convert yourself you want to be a cop, and you don't understand the origins of where there's come from this profession. Because if you want to serve the people, and you were educated about when did it start, when did humanity needed police, if you want to serve the people, and you understand that police was built, okay, to really to be the middle, it's not moderator, it's like the protector. They are there to protect the interests, not of the people, but the ones that want to have power over the people. Okay, so I don't think, guys, the four of you, I don't think that we can go inside the system and change it. Maybe I'm wrong. I don't think that.
You have to become the system to get accepted.
Yeah, I don't think that you can be a cop in the concept that we have now and change anything. I think that we have to present solutions. What is it? This doesn't work. What can work for everybody? And it's there that I think that we have to spend our energy. But we're spending our energy every time that they give us what to think. So now we're going to spend 1 month thinking about someone that died. And the next month, we're going to spend time thinking about the video that Beyonce did. And then the next month, we're going to spend the time about thinking about the explosion in Lebanon. And then when you realize that your time is what moves everything or delays everything, you old and you cannot do nothing. And I've been seeing that we're getting old and things don't change because we've been thinking that the problem is change the system. No. The problem is to break the system, to eliminate the system. It doesn't work. It was not made for us and will never serve us. So, Taalib, again, do you think that going back to Africa, literally or spiritually, it's a solution?
I think that, and it's interesting that you said that, because I was just listening to Malcolm X is like my definitely a hero of mine, my idol. But he talked about this, and for me personally, I want to repatriate just because I know exactly how it feels to be on the continent. I know exactly what my mission and goal is, and how I can advance my purpose even more so when I'm on the continent. However, I think that if not literal, then it needs to be a spiritual, social, and cultural return or repatriation to the continent. Because if that is the basis of how we exist and the basis of really knowing and having a knowledge of self, then it's essentially what Marcus Garvey said, like a tree without roots, how does it grow? You know, you need to have a solid foundation within yourself, within your spirit, to be able to help somebody else. Just like when you're on a plane, I will tell you if anything goes down, the plane crash, you know, or if it's going down, you know, you secure your mask and then you secure the mask of everybody else, because if you're not secured first, it's going to be hard for you to figure out what's going on. So, and the same, Like we need to be able to have an understanding and a knowledge of self. Now, I think, Baba Jose, maybe you said this, but when you have a child, and in that same example that you gave about Bill Cosby, I was thinking about Dr. Clark and the psychologist who did the doll test, and how within the doll test, you would have, for those who may not know, you would have a young black child, and they would give them two dolls. One is of a white doll and one is a black doll. And they would tell the child, okay, who has the better hair? She would pick the white doll. The white doll. Who's nicer? The white doll. Who's prettier? The white doll. Now, on a superficial level, you can see like, oh, what's up with this child? Like, I don't know why she's, but like on a more subconscious and deeper level, you will realize that everything in society is set up to where anything that is African is denigrated. Anything that is African is bad, black, whatever. You look at angel food cake versus devil food cake, white, black, right? Blackballed, blackmail. These are terms we use all the time. And then you'll say, oh, I got blackmail, not even realizing or conscious that you're advancing and still perpetuating the same type of depressed state that consciously we've been in, because we're not saying words of power. We're using it as a shot at us. So I feel like in order for us to truly be free and to be where we need to be, we have to have a repatriation we have to have a repatriation to Africa. Doesn't have to be literal, but I think that if we start there, then we'll have a good root and a good base. Because think about it from all of our perspective, because none of us still live on a continent right now, right? So us not living on a continent, and specifically being in the UK, so I'll speak to Phat, and then where my position is, because those essentially are the headquarters of the colonial state that's worldwide, the imperial state worldwide, right? We're literally in the belly of the beast, right? So if we weren't here, think about it as like a virus, right? When you have a virus, the virus and cancer, let's say cancer, cancer attacks the cells. It multiplies, attacks the cells, then it starts to spread. If we can become a cancer to this system, then it's easy for someone who's on the outside of the system. So say on the outside, in this example, would be our brothers and sisters that's actually on the continent. But if we were able to tear it down, being able to cut some of the blood circulation off to the brain, cut the heart up, chop up the liver, do all those things, then it's easy for somebody to come and kick the body down, and start attacking it like that. So I think that for us, by us being in the belly of the beast, I feel like we need to be able to take that consciousness and know, all right, well, we in America. So we raise hell in Minnesota or United States. If we raise hell in Minnesota, and then we raise hell in California, and then we raise hell in DC and New York, then we would be able, it would be too much. Because that's what in the 60s, that's what they did. In the 60s and then the 70s, what they would do is they would attack it on all, like throughout the country. And that's how you have the divide between blacks that are in this country, African people that's in this country, and then African people, and in Europe, and then African people that are on the continent, because they did not want the African revolution that was going on to impact the diasporic children, and vice versa. So you notice that during the time of when everybody had their civil rights movement, essentially, was when the time when Africa was going through their revolution of independence. So I feel like if we are able to get on one accord with that, but stay in our respective lanes or areas in which we're in, and attack, there's no way that they could be able to man us. Absolutely no way. If y'all created chaos in Portugal, in Switzerland, in Germany, in France, the same time that we do it here in the United States, or that we do it in Brazil or Argentina, wherever we are, they cannot control it. And that's exactly the reason as to why you saw what happened with the world wars, and you saw what happened with any other war, essentially. Even Vietnam, there was a revolution going on here in the United States. There's no way they could have beat the Viet Cong. No way. And then on top of that, when you're in a land like that, you don't know the terrain, and they literally are whipping you on a bowl of rice. They ate a bowl of rice and kicked y'all out of the country. because y'all did not have the resources, you went into it thinking that you're just this big bully and you can bully these people. When they said, "No, we got something for you," and in addition to that, it didn't help that we would burn down the country while we were here too. You see, so that's why I'm like, there needs to be a return, but it doesn't necessarily have to be literal for those that do not want to repatriate. It can be, you just need to return back to your original mind. That's what
state of mind.
Exactly. I actually believe that if a fair part of us leaves in a small time span, let's say 10% of African Americans, they leave in a small time span, America will fall. Because you will have America loses the tax money, the mortgages, the rent. Check the clothes that you now have on, and your closet. How much money is that? They will miss it. You won't go to the tank station to fill up your car. If maybe even 5% of the Black Americans, if they left, America would fall. Same goes for the Netherlands. If 5 to 10% of the blacks in the Netherlands either return to the Caribbean or to Africa, the Netherlands will fall, and with it, two domino stones falling.
Domino effect. Yeah.
Yes, two domino effects will start. If the Netherlands falls, soon Belgium will fall. Germany will have it difficult, etc. But also, if among us, the domino effect will be they left. We're leaving too. That's what I believe.
Okay. I'm seeing that vision. Yes, of course. Because if everything works, because even in the chaos there is a balance, and the system has a balance. The creation of this system works of unbalanced, but it has a balance. And once you shake that balance, okay, it falls. Like every big civilization, every big nation and imperial state that we had. Of course, I'm digging that, brother. I'm digging that. So 10% of us everywhere we are would go back to Africa. I see the chaos. I see, and then the other ones that would stay, because the chaos would be the ones that goes will shake the grounds, the pillars, and the ones that would stay would create bigger chaos. So I see that picture clearly, but then we would have a challenge. This one goes to you, Phat. What would we do with the what would we do with the leaders that we have in Africa? If 10% of us, of the diaspora everywhere, would go back to the continent or to the Caribbeans or to Africa, okay, 10% of us, the system in the Occident would be very unstable, okay, would start to break. If the other ones that would stay would get on codes, okay, and like someone that has a pain somewhere, the other ones that would stay would press that pain, so the unbalance would be bigger. We have a challenge, my guys. Phat, how would we manage the leaders that we have in Africa? Because we have because white supremacy is not a problem just outside of Africa. It's a bigger problem inside of Africa. What would you do, Phat? How could we manage?
Do we have leaders, or we have puppets?
Yeah. But
you know what I mean?
The ones that are in charge.
The ones that are in charge. The problem is not even them. The problem, for me, the problem is not going to be them, because they can easily be removed. You know what I mean? The problem is when you touch them, you're touching the bigger thing. When you touch one of them, you're touching the bigger thing. So they never, for me, I never see them as a problem. The problem is already what is already created and what they function in between as a so-called this democracy. You know what I mean? This is still on something that wasn't designed from us. You know what I mean? They are kind of being accepted to run that so-called democracy, coming with the religion to run our country. So us to go there to shake that is going to be a trouble for us. So what can I say? For me, is using the same. Like I give a good example that I learned with history. Again, it come to us in the past. Everybody say that Africa was invaded, but what I learned in study, Africa was never invaded.
Yeah,
it was infiltrated, right?
Yes.
And then
yes.
everybody say the Ixos was the first ones that invaded Africa, but they didn't invade Africa at all because, as you say again, genetic, powerful, godlike image, blah blah blah. It's us, isn't it? But what? Yeah, it's impossible. What Ixos did, they infiltrate, right? And then they climbed in inside. I think this is exactly what we need to do. We need to be stealth. We need to
in
be
Africa. But you're saying in Africa,
chess moves. We need to be like chess. You know, in Africa, yes. Okay. Over there too. You can, just because they look like us, you know. We're not going to go there and say, "Listen to me, yo. I know better than you. You need to get your ass out of there." Because when you deal with the leaders over there, you deal with we deal with their own bosses. You know what I mean? Because they're puppets. We already know. Yeah. And then they function and then they function on the democracy, something that we wanted to completely destroy. You know what I mean? Because us to deal with them, we already need to have something designed that's going to replace that.
Phat,
you know what I mean?
Phat.
You need to have something that is better than what?
Phat, listen to this. And we're gonna laugh with this. Would we have to have like a few of us that would be in codes and marry with daughters of people that are in charge and things like that? Because that's what they did.
But
Casare.
That's exactly I'm telling you. Ixos did the same thing. When Ixos came, when Ixos invaded, they started amalgamated with the families, with the powerful families, and then they climb up. They start becoming teachers. They start become the majority of them start become priests because the priesthood was the biggest thing then back in the days. That's how they climb. Why one of us don't want to be a agent? I shouldn't even say nothing here. I can say it here. But you know what I mean? Why we can be something? You know what I mean?
May I cut in?
Yes. And we get there with our own Bible. Listen, why we can be something that we can bring our own Bible over there and start spread our own religion. You understand what I'm saying? I can't even go deeper anymore.
Of course.
What I mean?
Well, we go with consciousness. But
and this is. Let me see some. I need to close down because I'm gotta go because my first of all my phone is tripping. I can find the cable. That's why I'm moving all over the place. I can find the cable and my battery is about to die. I don't know if I left the cable in the car. Need to go to the car. I'm gonna switch it off and then I need to turn it on again. That's why I'm moving crazy all over the place looking for a charger.
No problem, bro.
I told you this is about to die. I knew it, and it's nearly dying, man. But I'm gonna get the charger. I'm gonna put it on. I'm gonna listen, okay? Because I need to look for it first. But brothers, man, we're gonna do this again. This is part 1. I felt good. Yeah. We built. I love you, brothers. There's not much to say. You already know, man. One love and peace, man. Bless. I'm out. I'm listening. Charger, yeah.
All right, Phat.
JB, you wanted to add?
Yes. When you at the start, when you posed the question to Arafat, you said there's a balance and an imbalance. Yeah. And I believe the imbalance, I don't know if that's what you meant, But I heard between the line, the imbalance is the need. So this system works on the need,
On
right?
the need, exactly.
And the provision is the balance between need and the consumer and the industrials. But a true story. This is a true story. In the Netherlands, we got this right-wing politician, Wilders. Wilders, if I pronounce it in English. And he was for a short time he was in a coalition, because here in the Netherlands, in the United States, you have only two sides, right? Red and blue. But here in the Netherlands, it's about 30 political parties. So when one wins, he never has the absolute power. So he has to form a coalition with other parties. So this Wilders was part of a coalition. And the first thing he did was cut the so you were speaking of Arafat was speaking of puppets, right? If we move out, the economy falls. So when Wilders was in the coalition, the first thing that he did was cut aid.
Yeah, help.
He cut aid from 5 billion to 4 billion, and immediately Dutch companies were at his door complaining that they were losing assignments in the third world. Think.
Wow.
The aid, the money that they use, and they call it aid, is to buy the puppets. So if they go broke, they have no money to buy the puppets.
Yes.
So I was talking about this side, the domino effect on this side. But when we arrive, we have a need. Right? So provision and need. So I believe it's natural. It's a natural flow. We live here. We take our needs with us. A roof over our heads. Our tummy must be filled. We need we need clothes, and we're going to realize, we're going to produce, because we're not going to look for jobs.
Yeah.
So the 10% has to be entrepreneurs, craftsmen, etc. So we will be needing and at the same time providing. And I don't believe in government, I believe the population should be the ones realizing, and government should be pressed down to administrators. Guide what the population does. But anyhow, that's my 2 cents.
Taalib.
Yeah, that's the same. I think we've been conditioned to believe that we have to be governed by an entity, because we cannot govern ourselves. Like that's the notion, that's the narrative, and it goes along the lines, because I like to equate stuff to how is viewed on a local level as far as gun rights and gun control, right? So the narrative is always that Black folks can't have weapons because we're irresponsible. So that's why, right? But look at it like this. We'll check it from this perspective. What is the same thing that they what is it that they say on the international level about countries that are so-called underdeveloped and nuclear weapons? The same type of talk. They always say you're irresponsible. You can't
know how to manage. They can't manage
it. If you get it, then you may mess around and just blow everybody up. So who is it? Who are they to tell us?
Yeah, the moral authority.
Exactly what we're capable of doing. You know what I'm saying? So, to Brother JB's point, it all goes back to self, and it all goes back to center of what you have within, and bringing that out to make sure that you are able to shine, because you know exactly who you are and what you are about and what your purpose and your vision and your goal is, as it relates to everybody that's around you in this collective consciousness that we have. So to be able to move forward, I think that we need to establish a code. That's the one thing. Like we got to have a code as a people to say we will do A, B, C, D, E, F, G. If this doesn't get done, then this is what we need to do to enforce that this will get done, independent of anybody else influencing us to do that. And as it relates to going back into the continent, I completely agree. You know, like if we need to be able to, so being realistic about it, right? If you come in, like Phat said before he bounced, if you come in with this oppressor type of mentality, then you'll get the dynamic that you have in Liberia right now, where you have continental Africans that clash with the Africans of the diaspora who came back several years ago, you know, to believe, because they have the mentality of these are native backward people that don't have, that we need to tell them exactly how they need to develop, you know, the land and stuff like that. If we come like that, then we'll get matched with the same energy. So when there's hostility and then when there's a civil war that breaks out, then you can't look back and say, oh, you know, we're your brothers and sisters. Well, no, because you didn't come with that energy. If you want to come in that energy and in that space, then you need to understand, overstand, and appreciate exactly what has been established and then work together with, because it's the same dynamic as we live in the diaspora, going from community to community. The same community. Now, I'm not familiar with the ghettos of, I know you talked about OPP, and I don't know what your rival hood is, but it would be the same as if you went to that hood and was like, nah, this is how stuff is getting done. You know, you'll be lucky if you come back with no holes in your chest at all. You know what I'm saying? So it's like that same energy that we have as being empathetic, understanding, very humble, hospitable. We need to match that when we go. So when we go, then we'll say, okay, we know exactly what's going on because they are on the ground. They can tell you directly that we don't have access to A, B, C, and D. This is how things work. This leader we don't necessarily bang with, but his goons are all these people. So how do we maneuver? How do we work with this? You know, and what resources can we bring? So again, like Brother JB said, we got access to capital and access to resources that our brothers and sisters on the continent don't have. That's a fact, right? So we need to be able to understand exactly what needs to be done and how we can be of assistance to do it. Because if we build Africa up, have a strong Africa, I strongly believe those that may choose to stay in the diaspora, now, if you do anything to them, you have a whole continent that can come behind you. So when you look at other groups that back in, I think it was the 40s or the 50s, it may have been earlier than that, but let's just say in the 19th century, in the 20th century in the United States, there was a situation where an Italian person got lynched. And the whole state of Italy came down on the United States so bad that the United States had to apologize profusely about lynching this Italian. And the reason why they had to do that is because of the power that Italy had over the United States. Now, when we get shot and killed in Lisbon, when we get shot and killed in the Netherlands, when we get shot and killed in LA, where is our country or our nation to come back and say, you're not going to do this to our descendants. You're not going to do this at all. This won't be tolerated. We're going to cut off your aid. We're going to come down. We got missiles pointed at you. Just like how when it was the Bay of Pigs and Cuba had that situation with United States. And in order for United States to get their missiles from pointing at Russia, Russia was like, yo, we here. What's up? What y'all gonna do? Because we got the smoke. So, you know, and being able to have that leverage is going to go a long way. So we have to build together, but then also realize that though we are a peaceful people, in our core, we are peaceful people. We don't want no problems, none of that. But the people outside of us that want to see us destroyed don't work like that. Yeah. So it'll be the same thing as if you're in your house and you watching TV with your kids and your family. Somebody come at you with a gun. It's like, so you gonna run to the closet or what you gonna do?
Brothers, it was amazing. We have almost 3, and I like the number 3.5 hours. Okay, it was very, 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 very insightful. I think that this is gonna this is Talib, JB, Phat. This is history, brothers. I'm telling you guys, the energy today was unmatchable,
Facts.
and we'll have to repeat this. This is the first one, so we were on different places. Okay, we had like a overall conversation about the most amount of things that we could. We're gonna repeat this with with real themes like just this and that and the third. Bring more people, have this conversation, because I don't know about you guys, but I'm so happy about this one. I'm so happy about this one
This feels
Be-
good.
because it made me feel that I'm not
Look,
when that when I see us in the future, I see us in a better place. People, you cannot take me out of my vision that I have for the world, and especially for our people. I see us on a better place. And the real challenge that we have right now is to understand each other. These conversations, they are, bro, you cannot pay us for this. Okay, this is priceless, because once we understand that all of us think in a direction that we can present solutions, I'm telling you guys, the universe and the creator will arrange the ways, okay? The ways for us. As we manifest this conversation today, we moved things even if we don't see them, because this will echo every time that someone will come to see this video in this channel and we'll share it. This will be a conversation that they will be like, whoa, wait a second. All those guys, one is in Switzerland, the other guy is in UK, the other is in Washington, D.C., and the other is in Holland. Do you guys understand the countries that we are right now as Black people doing a live talking about our situation? The energy that must be, the energy that our ancestors right now are moving, like, okay, you guys are settled, you guys are in place. We need people in place to know to know how these places work, and how can we go back, and how can we go back and forward. We need this. We need to understand where we are, how we're going to do it, the art of war. We got to read it. And maybe one day we'll have to write our own arts of wars, our own, as Phat say, we have to use the same strategy. We have to educate. So we'll have to use everything. Brothers, we're going to leave the public. Okay. It's 3:30 right now, 3:30, 3 hours and 30 minutes. I was blessed today with our ancestors because they brought you guys to us. You are guys, bro. I cannot explain to you how I love you guys. JB is our elder. Taalib is my guy from the other side of Atlantic. Phat is my soul brother, and we made something beautiful today. Okay, so bless. I say okay,
Hey,
and I see you guys. We
yeah,
talk.
thank you
This,
for the yeah, for being part of it, for the invitation, bro.
yeah,
thank you so much,
freestyling, bro.
bro. Thank you so
Freestyling.
much. This is awesome. Like the reach that we had with this, and the fact that this is arguably the best podcast I've been on. Like this is dope. Thank you.
Yeah, bro. We moving. We moving. So, brothers, talk to you guys later. Bless and thank you. Talib, my guest for today. The others are brothers that I'm constantly talking. Bruh, love you and thank you. We're gonna do this again. Okay, JB, my elder, bless.
Bless
Well,
and thank you again. Thank you. Thank all of you. Thank you both, Arafat. Thank you.
thank you, Baba. Peace.
So, people, I don't know about you guys, but this one was deep, 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 deep. It was extensive because we have a lot to talk. We have a lot to say. Okay, we have a lot to say. So I want to thank everybody for being here. Okay, for this 3 hours and 32 minutes right now of conversation between four Black men. Okay, I'm in Switzerland. Phat is in UK. Taalib is in the US. JB, it's in the Netherlands, Holland. And we want to bring this to you guys more often. We're gonna talk about different things, okay? Themes that I will bring. Simon G, what's up? Yo, my brother Simon, another OG of ours. Don't forget to follow, the Taalib firm, Taalib S on IG and on Facebook. Don't forget. If you follow me, you're gonna find me sharing things from Taalib. Okay, JB, you guys know it. He's here. Okay, everybody's here. Thank you guys. I love and enjoy this first session. Love and peace. Flavia Spencer. Thank you, Queen. Thank you. We do this for all of you. Thanks to the chat room, says JB. Okay, Simon G, our brother. Okay, OPP. 990 in the building. Suanju since the beginning. Dima Mahmoud. And we have a lot to do. Bless you for this initiative. Yes, Queen. We are in this together. Maria Andrade, it was beautiful. Much love to you, brothers. People, I'm going to leave you guys. See you soon. And don't forget to share this so we can reach more people, so that the word and the energy can be spreaded, because there is something that we need to do. It needs to share love between us. From my vision, this was a sharing of perspective of black men that love. Okay, it was from love that we brought this today for all you guys. Okay, blessings. And as I said in Portuguese, qualquer planta, por isso cultiva.